If we could please stand as Trustee Blount leads us in the invocation and pledges of allegiance.
All right. And we'll do the invocation first. Almighty and most for God, we ask your guidance and blessing upon this board, students, parents, patrons, teachers, and administrators, as we are assembled here this evening in the common pursuit of this great nation's wealth, our children. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, the time is now 6:03 and the meeting will now be officially called to order. Good evening. Thank you everyone for attending this regular meeting of the Northside Board of Trustees. Before we call our first agenda item, we would like to just take a moment to briefly review the rules for conducting our meeting. And the order of business for this meeting is set out in our agenda. One item that you may notice on the agenda is called the consent agenda. This includes items that are considered routine and are recurring of nature. And all the items listed under this consent agenda will be acted upon in one motion. If there is a consent agenda item that anyone here would like to address, please sign up to speak to that item, and we will put the consent motion and discuss it separately. We are also required by law to allow for public participation regarding the school turnaround plans. And if you plan to speak to either item, please sign up to address the board by indicating your intent to speak to agenda item number 1, and you will be allowed to do so following the administrative presentation. The purpose of our meeting is to conduct board business, and for that reason, it is held in public. It is not a public forum, however. We do provide the opportunity for audience participation. If there is anyone wishing to address the board regarding citizens to be heard agenda items, please complete that sign-up sheet prior to the start of the meeting. And if there's anyone who would like to address the board during an agenda item, we ask that you please complete the sign-up sheet and indicate the agenda item that you would like to address. The sign-up sheets are located at the entrance to this room. This is so we do not overlook anyone who would like to speak to the board. We will review the rules for addressing the board later in the meeting. Is there anyone here who would like to sign up for an agenda item or the citizens to be heard and has not already done so? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pick up honors and recognitions first, and then we'll come back to our school turnaround plans. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Madam President, members of the board, good evening. And first and foremost, thank you for your diligence in working through our new board document management system, otherwise known as Diligent. If you run into any snags, let us know. Like I say, this is our first meeting to go live with it. At this time, we'd like to have some really special recognition. So if I could ask the board to join me out in front of the dais. We've got 3 individuals to start off with to recognize. They're very, very impressive educators here in Northside.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to recognize some truly outstanding Northside educators this evening who have all earned state-level honors. First, we celebrate Cruz Ramirez, an exceptional art teacher at Rawlinson Middle School who's been named the 2025 Texas Art Education Outstanding Middle School Art Educator of the Year. That's a mouthful. Cruz brings more than 18 years of teaching experience to her classroom, with 12 of those right here in Northside. She began her journey at Meade Elementary, where she led art shows and championed trauma-informed practices to support her students. Today, she serves as the lead art teacher at Rawlinson, and she also coordinates teacher PD and scholarship initiatives. Her philosophy is simple, yet very powerful. Every student deserves access to meaningful artistic opportunities, no matter their background or circumstances. So please join me in congratulating the 2025 Outstanding Middle School Art Educator of the Year, Cruz Ramirez. And if anyone's in the audience, family, friends to support Cruz, if you'll please stand so we can recognize you as well. Yes, we see the proud principal. Oh, yes, please. And I can even just. Yes, good thinking, thank you. And this thing is heavier than it looks. Thank you, Cruz. Congratulations. Our next honoree is an incredible educator who you all know. You know her for her positivity, her passion, and her dedication to both staff and students, which is truly unmatched. Terry Yasger, our Assistant Director of Fine and Visual Arts, has been named the Art Administrator of the Year by the Texas Art Education Association. Terry joined Northside in 2003 as a founding art teacher at where else? Rawlinson Middle School, and moved to central office in 2018. Today, she leads one of the largest groups of visual arts educators in Texas. She's a passionate advocate for student success and has championed participation in VASE events that is deeply involved in professional organization, and she strengthens the arts community statewide. Now, this is impressive. Under Terry's leadership, Northside has earned the TAEA District of Distinction Award, not once, not twice, not 3 times, for 6 consecutive years. It is a testament to her vision and commitment in what she does with our students. From program development and teacher support to student empowerment and community advocacy, Terry truly embodies what it means to be an outstanding art educator and leader. Please help me congratulate Terry Yasger, the 2025 TAEA Art Administrator of the Year. Okay, picture time, picture time. Our final honoree this evening is Saul Cepeda, a science teacher at Hobby Magnet Middle School, who has been named the 2025 Outstanding Secondary Science Teacher by the Science Teachers Association of Texas. With 14 years of experience inspiring middle school students, Saul is passionate about sparking curiosity, innovation, and a love of STEM. He is now in his 2nd year at Texas's only medically focused magnet middle school. It's a big deal at Hobby. He designs engaging hands-on learning experiences that connect classroom lessons to real-world problems. Beyond the classroom, Saul has coached First Lego League robotics teams for more than a decade and has led solar car teams for 5 years, which gives students the opportunities to explore engineering, teamwork, and problem solving. He is a respected leader across the district, and he served for at least 1 year or 2 years in NEIC, well, 2 years in NEIC and 1 year as the best vice president NEIC had ever had. He did a fantastic job. He just cycled off. He's currently pursuing his PhD in interdisciplinary learning at UTSA. He's working on chapter 5 of his dissertation. And he continues to model lifelong learning and excellence in education. So please join me in congratulating Saul Cepeda, the 2025 Outstanding Secondary Science Teacher by the Science Teachers Association of Texas. So if anyone wishes to stand, if you're here to support these folks, please do so we can recognize you. All right. This concludes our recognitions.
Yeah, congratulations again to our three outstanding educators. Their commitment and dedication is, like I say, well deserved to be honored and recognized. We do have, if you have had the opportunity to see your new diligent, we do have one more recognition. We wanted to pay thanks, given that this is the time that we embark upon this Thanksgiving holiday. Thanks to our custodians. So you'll also find that there is a resolution included in recognitions for your consideration this evening. And President Duran, I don't know if you want to read the resolution.
Okay. The resolution recognizing the essential role of custodial workers in Northside Independent School District. Whereas the Northside Independent School District Board of Trustees recognizes the vital contributions of our custodial staff who work diligently every day, often before students arrive and long after they have left, to maintain our schools as safe, clean, and welcoming spaces for learning. Whereas the work of custodial employees is essential to the health, safety, and success of every student and staff member, ensuring that classrooms, cafeterias, restrooms, and common areas remain sanitary and conducive to learning. Whereas Northside ISD's custodial staff reflects the heart and dedication of our public schools, providing critical support that allows educators to teach, students to thrive, and families to have confidence in the quality of their schools. Whereas the Board of Trustees values these essential employees and affirms the importance of fair compensation that reflects their vital role in the success of our district. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on this 11th day of November, 2025, the Board of Trustees of the Northside Independent School District formally recognizes and expresses its gratitude to all custodial staff for their indispensable service to our schools and community, and be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees reaffirms its commitment to ensuring that all custodial employees earn a livable wage of at least $15 per hour as recognized by economic standards, and to continue advocating for fair pay and respect for all essential school workers. Now I can say it in Spanish, right? No, I'm just kidding. Whereas, though.
Would you like to take action?
Sure. Do we have any motions?
Yeah, we do.
Dr. Harrell?
We do?
We've
We
never
don't-
done
we
this
don't-
this way.
This
We don't approve
Yes.
resolutions,
No action.
No action.
I mean, how is it?
right?
Very good. Well, thank you. Now we have our first agenda item, our school turnaround plans.
I'm going to turn this item directly over to Dr. Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Again, I think that you're probably familiar as a result of our articulation in our last academics committee meeting as well as the last board meeting. So here are our turnaround plans that we will be submitting for approval to the Texas Education Agency.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, as you know, a campus is considered turnaround by the state if they receive consecutive unacceptable ratings. And so 3 ratings for districts were released within a few months. And so in Northside, there are 4 campuses that are deemed turnaround. And so these campuses are Meade Elementary, Colby Glass Elementary, Martin Elementary, and Neff Middle School. So part of the requirements for turnaround plans or turnaround schools is that they create a plan, and we refer to the plan as a TAP plan. The plan covers 2 years and is very specific, details the specific action steps, what we're progress monitoring, and the intent is that the implementation of the plan will then have the campus move and achieve an acceptable rating. So to Dr. Kraft's point, we shared with you guys the overview of the plans at the October 27th academics and at the October 28th board meeting. What this is right now is this is a public hearing because part of the requirements is you post the turnaround plans for 72 hours to get public feedback on those plans. So what you're going to see is we have had these plans in a whole host of places to get stakeholder feedback. And so we're excited to share some of that feedback, which we'll do tonight. So successful turnaround plans, the first thing they do is they engage stakeholders. We know any school, how a school is performing is a reflection of the needs of the community. So how do we pull together the resources in the community to help our children be successful and to support our teachers and our staff? It also details an improvement strategy. So one of our main improvement strategies, because the state gives you you have to pick from a list, is around high quality instructional materials, which you've probably been hearing about those that come out through an instructional review process. It also includes what we call milestones or measures of progress. So we can dipstick and see where we are at different points in time towards accomplishing our goals. So at this time, we want to talk a little bit about how stakeholder engagement. And so I'm going to invite Ms. Jessica Palamadas. She is serving as our district continuous improvement district official. And so she'll talk through some specific things, kind of some exciting things that we heard back from the community and the input that we received.
Hi, good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? All right. Much of the information you will hear this evening is a repeat and review of the information that we went over last month at our academic meeting as well as our October board meeting. But just to give you a glimpse of the meetings we've already had at each of the campuses, you'll see here on the screen are all the stakeholder engagement opportunities that we had at each of the individual campuses at Glass, Martin, Meade, and Neff. This was an opportunity for us to share information with the staff, first and foremost. Any questions they might have within the work of the TAP plans, please know that the information was not the first time they received it at this staff meeting. They've been working on the work since they returned back to the campus this school year when they were working at Leadership Institute on the campus improvement plan. So they've been around the work of the strategies and the implementation of this plan since they came back in August. After the staff meeting, we had a public community meeting, and most of them occurred the week of October the 22nd. At Neff, they had it a little earlier on October the 20th. This gave an opportunity for any families and community members to be a part of this TAP plan so they can give feedback, insight, and recommendations. At the end of this presentation, I'll give you an overview of some of the feedback that they provided at each of the campuses comprehensively. Then at the elementary schools, just to ensure that we gave multiple opportunities for our families to take a look at the plan and provide feedback, we had a coffee with the principal both at Glass and Meade, and then we had student-led conferences at Martin in which parents were able to come into the library before, during, and after student-led conferences to have conversations with the principal around this plan. We had our academics committee review, and then, of course, today, a final overview, and this plan has already been posted as well. We'll go ahead and go to the next slide. These are the strategies for success that we talked about last month. We talked about our school improvement strategy in which we're looking at a high quality instructional materials, both in math and reading, as well as a focus on the extended constructed responses. And so in the presentation of the plan that we posted last week, we delved deep around the work that we're going to do during planning, implementation, review, and monitoring of the high-quality instructional materials. Secondly, we took a look at support and capacity building. We made sure that we provided some strategic staffing opportunities at Meade that we talked about. We added some additional staffing there to ensure we're hitting every student as much as we can. Data-driven instruction. We're doing a real big focus on professional learning communities, building capacity with our teachers so that they can do more curriculum compacting and looking at those readiness skills that we talked about. I believe, Dr. Duran, you talked about Esparza Elementary and what they did to turn around. And their big focus was on their professional learning communities and ensuring that the instructional specialist was providing support for the classroom teachers. And then targeted professional learning. We have been working hand in hand with the curriculum and instruction department and other departments to ensure that all staff members have received appropriate professional learning opportunities to implement the work within the plan. And then, of course, principal coaching. That starts from the top down. All campus supervisors are receiving training from Region 20. They assist us in the learning rounds at the campus. After the learning rounds, they debrief with us and give us feedback in the work that we're doing in the cycles. And then we meet monthly with them. And then we meet bi-weekly with the principal. We have one coming up at Meade on Monday, and Dr. Jordan will be joining us as well with a representative from TEA. And then lastly is our performance management. Those are our regular performance reviews through the classroom walkthroughs and ensuring the fidelity of the plan is being implemented at each one of those campuses. So next month, we're excited to bring an update to you around some of the data metrics that we have available for you to review for each one of these campuses. Lastly, we have our community feedback. I'm going to share with you some questions that were common at each one of the campuses when we met with our community members. And you'll see that they all come with a sense of support and help for their child, as well as support for teachers at the campuses and the leaders at the campuses. How can we help our students at home? We talked a little bit about that, ensuring that every student has the capability of bringing home technology and that they have access to online interventions so that their parents can help them at home. So that's one thing that we're doing. How can we help our teachers and campus leaders do this work? They felt that the plan was meaty, but it's going to require a village to lift this plan, right? And so we've asked our parents to be partners in this work, and they're ready to do that. What resources can be provided to us? So for some families, they're asking more than just online intervention. And so we're working with those families specifically. Yeah. How about I just calm down? Can you tell I'm struggling with allergies? So I'm trying to be able to breathe and talk at the same time. So my apologies. So what resources can be provided to them? So I've talked a little bit about that. What instructional materials are you considering and who decides which ones? So when we talk about high quality instructional materials, and that's our plan, and we gave them our 3-year rollout plan, they wanted to have conversations around when do we get exposure to that? When will we get updates around that? How's the curriculum going to look like? How is that going to look differently than what we already currently have in our schools? What professional learning is going to be provided for teachers around the high quality instructional materials? And what metrics are we going to use to ensure that it's working differently than what we already had? And so those are great questions coming from our families. What we did tell them is we're in the planning stage. And so as we roll out this work, we will bring updates to the families. The next update for our families will be in January at a mid-year review with them. At the mid-year, we're also going to invite families to come, like another public meeting, to the campuses, and we're going to share with them our mid-year review data, which for elementary and middle is our MAP data. And then we have some other metrics we're going to share with them to include attendance, discipline, and attendance of students and teachers, discipline, and then any other data metrics that we use, such as interims and CCAs. And then lastly, they talked about, they understand this puts a lot of pressure not only on teachers and the leaders, but on students. And it's about that just emotional well-being of our kids. And they wanted to make sure that they were okay and that we had the supports at the campuses in case those kiddos needed additional support. And we talked to them about how counselors can provide the support at the campuses. So they were happy with that. And lastly, here are some testimonials or just statements from the parents. They, at mostly every campus, they said, these plans are very detailed. We're excited about seeing the data in January. There's so much y'all are doing. I'm sure we'll see the growth. And so they're very hopeful about the success of each campus and around our work within the plan. What we're trying to do is make sure we're very transparent. When we have information, we will put it in their hands, and it's not a one and done. And so one of the things that we're doing to work with our leaders is when we have information, let's put it out there for the public. And that can come in the form of their weekly bulletins, at their PTA meetings, or cafecitos. Anyway, just to let them know how we're progressing along the way. And so that kind of gives you an overview of where we're at right now. After this evening and with approval, we'll go ahead and submit our plans and await for TEA's final approval.
We have a question, Ms. Zapata.
I might have missed this, but how will our community be able to give us feedback? Yeah, I know this has to be open for 72 hours. What are we using, or where can they go to give us that feedback or give us any feedback?
So on our posting, we do have a link.
Okay.
And so they're able to click on that link, and we have some questions there for them, and they're able to provide feedback and recommendations. As well as our families, they're able to provide feedback at any given time. It can be one-on-one, it can be done in a public forum. So we've let them know that the public meeting isn't the one and only time you can provide feedback. If something comes up, you're having a parent conference, you have other concerns, you come to the mid-year review, and maybe at the onset you felt like this was a really great plan, but maybe the data is not really showing the progress made, we will collect feedback at any time.
Thank you. Mr. Blunt.
Yeah, I just want to clarify also, since it is a public hearing, that this falls under the management guidance, whatever, of the Board of Trustees of Northside ISD. There is no TEA overall oversight, because there's been some confusion in public about that, et cetera. And it falls under our superintendent and staff. So it all falls under Northside. Now, you may get some whatever feedback or whatever from TEA, but it is under Northside. So I just want to clarify that.
Yes, you're correct, Mr. Blunt. And part of that as well, for transparency, we will meet at Cabinet with our superintendent and provide monthly reviews, and also an opportunity to provide additional information when we can on Friday letter, and then at our monthly board meetings. That gives us another opportunity to share the progress made throughout the whole year.
Thank you. Dr. Hassel?
Just wanted to talk, there was a point that you said that TA was giving us feedback, and just, I know that's going back to the schools, and I don't know how specific it is, but is there any way to also share that feedback with like other principals to kind of get a sense if, is this something going on at some of the other elementary schools? I just don't know how specific the TA like recommendations are or feedback that they're giving, but perhaps it could help some of our other schools since we do have a lot of elementary schools and middle schools. So just if there's a mechanism in place to share that feedback with either like the principal, some of the assistant principals, so they generally know like this is some feedback that TA is giving these specific schools. Perhaps it's something either you're already doing or something that you could implement in your school. And then the second is just the January mid-review. Don't know if that's a place for us to come and show our support, to show that the board is also there to help in any way. So if it is something that we can go to, if you could let us know, that way we can make it a point to put on our calendars to go to the schools and really just show that, you know, it's superintendent, it's the support staff, it's everyone there, but we're also here to help in any way that we can.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Hasso. I know Dr. Jordan can share the mid-year review dates with you. We already have them on the calendar. Our principals have also offered to share a presentation with you and the work that they do. So I think that would be another excellent opportunity for them to kind of have a more personalized message to you around the work that they're doing. This week, we're also going to do a superintendent review with Region 20 on the Effective Schools Framework diagnostic visits that we had. And so I know Dr. Kraft can share a little bit with you on that. And then at any time that we get feedback, high level, we'll make sure to include it in our monthly reviews with the board.
Thank you. Dr. Hall?
Thanks, Jessica. And I think this was our three-peat of this. So we're loving this.
I
Yeah.
was trying not to be redundant.
No,
but just,
no, it's great because then, it does surface some more questions and offers for support. So you did talk about this Monday, TEA was coming to meet. And so I was just going to ask a similar question to what Sonia asked. Can we go?
So it's a representative on
Right.
behalf of TEA.
Sure.
Right. And the visit includes learning walks within the campus. The last visit we had, we were given some next steps, some action steps. So we'll come and do a monitor and a review. I know Dr. Jordan is going to join us at those visits as well. And then what we can do is provide you some updates and feedback that we were given.
Okay, so no, not for us to go then.
Yeah, let me
There
let
won't
me
be a
remind-
summary.
let me-
This
let-
would be
let me-
more of a fleshing out.
Right.
Okay.
It just adds more nerves to the
Yeah,
teachers.
I
think.
gotcha. I'm seeing it as a way to support. So
Right.
whatever. The other is because our schools have such a large emergent bilingual population, is the way that community and the families can voice their not just their needs but also their supports and participation. Is it done in various languages, Spanish or what?
Yes.
Okay.
We always have a translator available.
Okay, for
And
whatever.
yes, and the campuses do a great job in putting everything that's in writing in multiple languages
Good.
that are most often used at the campuses. And so we definitely can do that.
And multiple ways, not just technology, so
Yes.
that if, okay. Can we, and maybe Friday letter, see what the Effective Schools Framework is? Just to see TEA's language?
You bet.
I mean,
We can
just to
put
see
in the
what they're gonna
whole
be looking
model.
at?
Yeah, we definitely can do that. Mhm.
Okay. And you said attendance. Nope, that's good. Thank you. Appreciate everything.
And then Dr. Hasso, to your last point, you had asked, is there anything that we can do across the board for all campuses, right? And so what we did is we just took a look at those high yield leverage strategies that are effective for our leaders to implement. That's best practice for all. And so we are embedding that within our monthly principal meetings. And then it's also another metric that we're using when we go out to do supervisory visits. And so we're trying to align that work and ensure that every campus is held responsible to do that.
Thank you. Mrs. Freeman?
Thank you. I just wanted to also to confirm that the community feedback too will be available to us, perhaps in maybe Friday letter or in the report. So we know we are the board is actually the liaison between the district and the community, and so it would be helpful to us to know what the community is saying too.
I'll gather that for Dr. Jordan and
include all
Dr.
of that
Fay,
in
and
Friday
we'll make
letter.
sure to include that in summary.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Salcido?
Yeah, just one quick question. According to all four schools, they already had their public community meetings.
Yes, sir.
How well were they attended? Was there?
Well, some were in smaller numbers, right? And so that was a reason why we had cafecitos. And we also had our student-led conferences to allow multiple opportunities to have exposure with our families. And then we also included a mid-year and end-of-year review, and then also doing monthly updates in our bulletin where principals will put a feedback piece on there. It's not required, but it's a way to have ongoing feedback from our campuses.
Thank you. And I think that's all the questions we have. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, and we greatly appreciate your support. We greatly, I know that the principals greatly appreciate your support. This is absolutely district business. So any events pertaining to whether it be a TEA or a Region 20 visit to a campus, if you'll please just let us know. we want to make sure that we're not going to be needing to post agendas. And of course, as you recall, this is 3 business days prior to any meeting. So like I say, we appreciate the support, but we probably do need to make sure that we're not going to have a quorum ascending upon one of our campuses. Jessica, thank you to you and your team, Dr. Jordan. I know that, like I say, there's been a tremendous amount of work. These plans are already, like as you already know, being implemented across all of our campuses. We will be sharing best practices, obviously, across the district with campuses as well. I don't have anyone signed up for this particular agenda item, so before we close the public hearing, did we miss anyone? Is there anyone that would like to speak to the turnaround plan specifically? Madam President, you'll see that this item is actually included as a consent agenda item, as it's already been presented to the board twice, and so I think it's safe at this time to close the public hearing and can move on to the next agenda item.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You have a great evening.
You too. We now move on to our superintendent's report.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to wish our entire community happy Veterans Day. We were able, Dr. Harrell and I were able to start the day out at Leon Springs Elementary School with their Veterans Day ceremony celebration. It was a really exciting event. The kids did a great job, and of course it was all student-led. We had quite a number of veterans present, and so it was like I say, just a great celebration. Mr. Salcido, Mr. Blunt, thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day to you, and again, happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans who have served this great nation. Last Tuesday, we had a great PD day. Of course, this was a student holiday, also election day. We surveyed our staff, and actually Diana Ely presented those results this morning at Cabinet, and we had really overall very, very positive ratings. In fact, 94% were positively engaged in PD. That was really well planned out, and so again, thank you to all that really worked so hard to make that day such a great professional development day. Last week we celebrated with Lock Hill. This was their 50th anniversary in the building. I believe it was their 156th year since existence. Pretty rich history, pretty rich traditions. I thought Ms. DeHoya did a phenomenal job, and it was really neat to, like I say, celebrate with Lock Hill. I had the opportunity to provide a State of the District to the Oak Hills Rotary. They too want to support any way they can, and so they very gladly, proudly offered to support our clothing closet, threads, and other initiatives, particularly as we're reaching out, extending a helping hand to families that may be in need during this prolonged, challenging shutdown, particularly with food and other resources. This past Friday, I had a unique opportunity to be on Jude Rogers, one of our communication arts freshmen podcast. And his podcast is Getting Juicy with Jude. That was my exact response. So Jude was actually one of our convocation participants as well. His personality is about as big as this boardroom. And we spent an hour solving the world's problems. It was really neat in the sense of he surveyed other campuses to include high schools and middle schools, and they came up with 4 or 5 questions. And so there'll be an edited version that has to be within 7 minutes, and then there'll be about an hour and 5-minute version forthcoming. But Jude it was just a pleasure. It was a lot of fun. I got to put on the headphones and felt like an ESPN sports broadcaster for an hour. It was just, like I say, really neat to visit with Jude. Congratulations to our 16 campuses for making the U.S. News, Texas Best Schools. Yeah, really exciting. O'Connor High School is actually about to play in the regional semifinal game against Westlake. Their volleyball team, like I say, is continuing their playoff run. Again, congratulations to our 8th grade football champions, the Briscoe Bengals, 7th grade, the Strauss Mavericks. And then this week is by-district playoff time. It's hard to believe the regular football season is already over. So congratulations to Harlan. They'll be playing Thursday against Madison at Ferris. And then Friday is really just to take your pick. Brennan will face off with Reagan at Hero Stadium. Brandeis will take on Soto right here at Ferris. Jay versus Piper at Gus. And then also the O'Connor High School football team made the playoffs and will be taking on Johnson at Collimander Stadium. A reminder, we've got our first student voice meeting this Friday, as well as we'll be celebrating our Northside Education Foundation Pillars tomorrow night at the Boeing Tech Center. And so there's a lot going on, particularly as we quickly approached the Thanksgiving break. This past month, we had the opportunity, our communications team had the opportunity to visit a really special program associated with Esparza Elementary School. They had some volunteers that created a girls after-school running club, and really to help our young students develop confidence and embrace a healthy, active lifestyle. And so this month's video moment is featuring Esparza and their Girls on the Run program. If you'll give us just a few minutes.
Things at Esparza Elementary are a little out of place right now. Smack in the middle of bond renovations, the team has been challenged to find new ways to work around the constant construction. But one thing's for certain, nothing will stop them from making a positive impact on the kids.
Today we're going to talk a lot about our feelings.
Like with Girls on the Run.
Check in with your body, and I want you to think about what emotions are you feeling.
A running club that's not just about running.
Can everybody say, I feel? I feel.
There is a curriculum, and it teaches anything from self-confidence to how to have tough conversations with others, how to share our emotions.
Ready? Go.
5th grade teacher and volunteer coach for Girls on the Run, Cynthia Garcia Peralta, says it also helps kids to become better people.
It incorporates the walking, running, jogging while having those life lessons that they're going to be able to use for the rest of their lives.
Running or walking at their own happy pace, learning and growing along the way.
All while having a big idea. For example, one could be how to build your confidence or how to help others when they're having a tough time.
And I like that we have to run because I like running a lot. It makes me feel happy, excited.
And when these kids feel good about themselves, they can't help but share the love.
Okay, proud.
I like doing it because I like helping others and make them feel like they're able to be here and not to quit.
Making new friends along the way.
Some of my 5th grade friends do it, and I've made like me 3rd grader friends and a lot of other friends.
It all builds up to one final run at the end of the season. A 5K run with other Girls on the Run kids from around Bexar County.
A 5K is hard. It's 3.1 miles. And so it's a big challenge. And we see as the girls progress, as they start gaining that confidence, and then it also translates into the classroom. We start to notice that they're encouraging their classmates. They're more willing to take risk. And ultimately, our goal is to build resilience.
And yes, just in case you were wondering, these kids are for real. No, I'm good. Y'all right.
Love it.
In your journal, and you're going to write or draw one thing you learned about sharing your emotions today.
Girls on the Run time is sacred. We're not on our phones. We're not dealing with other things. It's the time that we get to work with the girls and just help build them up. And at the same time, we're building ourselves up.
Girls on the Run on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Girls on the Run! So much fun!
Aww.
Yeah, David Norris does a great job featuring so many programs, and congratulations again to Esparza, Ms. Peralta, true inspiration and leader with, like I say, our girls at Esparza. That concludes my report, pending any questions. And like I say, it'll be a busy week and a half all the way up to Thanksgiving break.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move on to our board members' report. Not everyone pushed the button. Oh, there we go. Dr. Hassel.
I got you. So I do want to start off with Happy Veterans Day. I was able to go at work. We had a Veterans Day event, and it was amazing to see everyone there. So just wanted to say Happy Veterans Day. I also wanted to highlight that I was able to make it to Fernandez Elementary. They had a trunk or treat event for math and reading. That was a nice event. We were able to go teach to the tables. I kept saying no candy because if I go to every table and get a candy, it's not good. So I said, I'm here for the conversation, not the candy, but thank you. Also wanted to say November 6th was a busy day. I was able to go to, I'll start off backwards. So I'll go with the evening stuff. I was able to go to, and I'm going to say this wrong, Bailao Elementary School. They had their STEM night. That was amazing. I was able to go to different tables and also say, no, I do not need a lima bean plant, because if I take a lima bean plant, then I must take a colorful magnet. And if I take a colorful magnet, then I have to take a pot. Like it's just an endless amount. So I said, no, just here. And got to talk to some amazing parents that were there. Also got to make it to the PTA meeting that evening. Got there a little later because I was at the elementary school, but was able to talk to some really good parents that are very interested in everything going on in Northside. And then since I was already at the NAC, I figured might as well walk over to the game because I realized that I had parked so far that I felt like the stadium was actually closer at that moment. So I walked to the stadium instead and got to catch the Sotomayor and Harlan game. But I will say my first stop, which myself and Trustee Salcido were able to go to, was that morning we went to John Jay's first annual feeder literacy event. Amazing. They had, the library had an area where they were reading books to students. And then at the end of the book, they were able to make paper planes. So we helped all the kids make paper planes. And so they were able to take those back to the bus. What happened with those paper planes when they were back at school? That is not, that was not my concern. But then we also got to go to the choir room, and the choir just did an amazing rendition of a book that they were reading to the children, and really got to give their own personal story about them, their first time being in this country, this first time being a student in high school. I mean, the stories that they had and they shared with those kids were amazing. Then we went to the orchestra room that did an amazing rendition of Giraffes Can't Dance and also The Bad Seed. The way they did that was just amazing. And then ended up in the theater room, and they did a live enactment of the Good Egg. So first year that they're doing it, amazing. And then of course the elementary schools, they wrote these cute little cards for the kids. And the faces of high school kids getting this handwritten little card from little kids, like gold, like all the hard work they did to do that for the kids, they definitely felt the love from the kids. So amazing event. It is their first annual feeder literacy event. The creativity that went into it, I was floored, like just amazing. So I hope they continue doing it, and I hope other schools get to do it because it was one of the most amazing things I've seen. So thank you.
So thank you. Next, nobody else has pressed the button. Dr. Harrell.
Thank you. So I was just double checking something. So our TASB Grassroots, which is an invitational event for all of the trustees in the Region 20 area, will be just got approved for February 12th, and NAC's going to actually host it. So we need to get the word out to all our friends and all the districts. And the three of us who are working on it, Rich Cerna from Bernie ISD and Ginger Friesenhahn from East Central, are collecting. We're doing lots of door prizes, trying to get, it's a little bit of a drive when you're coming from when you're coming from anywhere else other than San Antonio. So we kind of want to make it worth their while. And so we're collecting, HEB's giving us HEB cards and gas cards and things like that. But it's a great event. It's where we come up with lots of great ideas for legislative agendas. But I guess the best part is meeting trustees from other school districts and sharing similar concerns, similar work, kind of like how, schools sharing best practices. That's what we spend a great amount of time doing it, other than have a really good meal. So I'm glad that Northside gets to host that. We'll also have a Zoom component so that they can Zoom in. So we'll figure that out with our technology group. Again, and Dr. Kraft mentioned it, had a great 50th celebration at Lock Hill. The kids sang songs from the late 70s and early 80s, so I knew all the words. And they were so cute. They just were awesome. They had worked really, really hard. What I loved was listening to all the teachers who had taught there that came back, and they were reminiscing just like the students had. Dr. Kraft referred to 157 years of Lock Hill. There was a group of students my first year on the board that were now 70, 80, and 90-year-olds who wanted to have a historical marker put at the old Lock Hill, which is where the alternative school is at I-10 and 1604. And so it was a great community collaborative event, and we did get a historical marker there if anyone wants to see it. But they wouldn't leave that celebration either, because they were talking about their favorite teachers and their favorite activities and things on the playground and who liked who, just like the teachers were last week. And so it was tremendous, but hats off to Lock Hill. And then this morning, Leon Springs, and again, happy Veterans Day. I tell this story every year, so those of you who know me and have heard this story, my father was a veteran. He also won the Purple Heart and came back from Vietnam a broken man and had a really, really hard time acclimating to the world. To put it lightly, my mom kicked him out of the house one day and said, "You're going to go over to Hobby's, a brand new school. They need a PTA president, and you need to go over there." And I can't believe he did it, but he did. And he was the first PTA president there. He went back 25 years later at their celebration and told them, "Thank you very much. You actually helped save my life." And so he meant it. And he's no longer with us, but he got to speak at the Leon Springs Veterans Day event, and said that was the greatest thing in his life, was to go back and speak to young children about the power and the love he had for being in the armed forces and serving. And he told them his one message was, read. If you can't travel in a plane, because he was a pilot, read books, because he said, "I traveled that way for most of my life before I got in a plane." But anyway, it was really neat. But those kids, the only pictures I took were kids like just so joyful, singing our national anthem and all the songs that each grade level had songs to sing. But thanks to Leon Springs for honoring the veterans so well. It's a tremendous day. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Well, Mrs. Freeman.
Thank you. I appreciate all the stories about Veterans Day and how our schools have celebrated Veterans Day today. We had the opportunity, fortunately, my grandkids don't go to Northside. I wish they were that close. They live in Round Rock, and in their schools, I have middle school and elementary school grandkids, and the school is across the street from they're across the street from each other, and so they have a joint Veterans Day parade. And I know we have those types of things here in Northside, but it was just so neat because the kids, my husband retired from the Air Force, and so the kids, before school started, they helped decorate the car, and it was just a lot of people, a lot of veterans in the parade. And it's just really, the kids were so gracious, and I know that the teachers talked to the kids, and they said thank you to all of our veterans, and the band was out playing. And I just love the stories that we have. Thank you, Carol, for yours. And we've said it here, just to our veterans, those that are here with us and those that have gone before us, we thank you. We thank you for your sacrifice, the your courage and the love of your country. It is so very very important. We have freedoms because of those people. And thank you too to our families of our veterans. They also serve in a very special way. Dr. Harrell, you mentioned grassroots. Sometime, or maybe you can help us think about that. I know that in the delegate assembly, we did away with resolutions. So perhaps at a January board meeting, we can talk about what our priorities might be for the next legislative session, so we can bring those to grassroots. Or if you have thoughts on how we can help and how to be prepared for that grassroots, please let us know. And then also inform us sometime too about the Region 20 connection that we've all gotten invitations, and quite honestly, I haven't participated too much at it, but if you would give us an update. Oh, thank you, TASB Connect. And so there's a Region 20 component. So if you could let us know how that's going. And that would be it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blunt.
Thank you. That you talking about Lock Hill. There was really 2 books that were written that are really historical and talk about Lock Hill and some of the other ones. And I don't know if everybody has. I doubt if everybody has seen it. Because it was, if you remember, Bonnie Ellison was the one that really helped sort of get that going at the Northside Museum. But I'll see if I can find that. It's fascinating history back to the 1800s, et cetera, that you had mentioned. Yep, you got it. Our big scholarship is out now as of Friday. So we'll see for our boys teachers scholarship. So looking forward to seeing how many applicants we get for that one. The other thing I was going to bring up was the great essay reading that also got started, and we've got the first week data, and to be honest, we were simply blown away at the amount of participation that we're already seeing, not only in Northside, but across the San Antonio area, and Seguin, et cetera. The teachers and librarians have really pumped it up this year, and it's going to be interesting to see. If we had a goal of 25 million, I was sort of, ooh, that's a lot. I think we're definitely going to make that part of it, but there's a lot of excitement out there. Been focusing now more, and let you all know, on the partners end of it, and the volunteers that go out and read with the kids. So we're really getting that organized. The schools have sort of sent us, what their availabilities are, when's a good time for them, and which ones are open for everybody. So if you have any organizations, I know you did already, let us know, because we really want to have that big impact with the volunteer side too, with the competition itself. And the last one I was at Franklin Elementary, the home of the Colts, for their Veterans Day celebration. Similar to what you all said, I be honest, I was blown away about the amount of volunteers that were there from a veteran sense. I thought maybe everybody in Northside was there as a veteran. I said, man, that was a large number. That community has, I guess all our communities have a lot more veterans than what we realize. And it's just interesting to talk to some of their stories, et cetera. And it's always interesting as a guest speaker. It's always a challenge to talk to me in front of veterans per se, because especially we have their veterans from foreign wars and other type things, and I've known what some of them have gone through, but I think we worked that out well. But it was definitely enjoyable, and I thank Franklin. And that's all I had.
Thank you, Mr. Salcido.
I just want to add a little bit to what Dr. Hassel said about that first annual literacy event up at John Jay with the choir theater. They just took reading to a whole nother level. I mean, they just sit there and read a book. I mean, they actually act out the book. So that was awesome. Had a great time there. I also got to participate in the Red Ribbon Parade at Mary Hall Elementary, Say No to Drugs. I got to be in the parade. It was good to see the community come out there, and they came out and they were standing in the gate waving at everybody. So it wasn't just us driving down the streets and with nobody there. They actually came out. So it was, I think, like 3 blocks that we went around. So that was pretty exciting. This year was kind of different. They included a anti-bully gang. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that. And so it had a van with a bunch of low-riding cars. They had a big truck. They got all kinds of vehicles that they brought on the parade. And it's, I think it's been around for 2 years. I tried to look it up. I just took the name off of their van, off a picture. But it's pretty exciting. It's nice for us to bring that to the schools. I mean, I think somebody who's being bullied contacts them and they come and save them to the rescue or something like that. I'm not sure how that works, but it was really exciting. So the kind of cars that they had a silver car out there, like a Lamborghini or something. I mean, they had all kinds of stuff. It was really neat. I want to thank Ms. Noriega for inviting me this year. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? All right. Dr. Hall?
But I can wait till after you.
Oh, sure. Thank you. So I just wanted to thank all who served. Working at USAA and survivor relations is one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. So the sacrifices that are made by the families and everyone that supports families, including our tremendous support system for military families here at Northside. Thank you for all you do. Today, I was able to attend at work an event with Senator Jose Menendez. I just wanted to give a shout out to our Victory Learning Center that we have at the Alamo Colleges. If I didn't know, veterans knew it's a hub for veterans to go and sign up to go back to school and a lot of other workforce programs and help you kind of organize your benefits that you have as veterans. So if you're looking to go back to school, we have an entire building dedicated to help our veterans here in Military City. I wanted to shout out the Pan American League that invited me to join them, and the Judge Andy Mireles Foundation, who was one of our school namesakes, for scholarship fundraisers that they were able to have. All of those have benefited Northside families. So if you're looking for scholarships, look those two organizations up. I do want to give the shout out to our athletics department, and I want to wish all the volleyball and football teams best wishes and good luck. We are accepting nominations for Leadership Northside for our next cohort. So if you're looking or if you know someone that would be a great candidate, let us know here, and we're able to nominate those folks. Those are being accepted. If you can't attend the Northside Educational Foundation Gala tomorrow, you can bid online. So there are some really cool prizes that I would never be able to afford unless I got very lucky with the raffle ticket. So check those out. We do have the EduTech conference this Friday at North Lake College, and some of our teachers present and share their tech tools and the resources that are used in the classrooms that help students. I also want to shout out the students and the teachers that took students to participate in our Muertos Fest here as a citywide event. The Dia de los Muertos is a Memorial Day of remembrance for dearly departed loved ones. It serves as a Memorial Day for a lot of folks. So that was really awesome to see our students participate in those events. So thank you. I know this time of year can be tough, especially with a lot of changes. We do have a lot of resources. So if you know families in need, or if you want to reach out to me, I'm happy to connect you with community resources, and be kind to each other. This is a tough time of the year. So, Dr. Hall.
Oh, thank you. I forgot to mention that, and it's a prototype, I think, that hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed, Ben and Dr. Kraft, that we can duplicate. But there was a passion project, a project-based learning project a group of students did that came to fruition, where they felt a need from their teachers with childcare on professional development days. And so they've now successfully done their second big one last week during the professional development day. The teachers were over the moon. The students provided the best lessons, but the kids were crying when it was time to leave. They really loved it, and it would be wonderful. I mean, can you imagine? Teachers would never have to worry about childcare on our professional development days if it could be replicated. And they've got everything down to a T. And so we'll keep our fingers crossed. But they also got to present it at the Communities in Schools conference on Tuesday, and got a standing ovation, because very few projects come alive, right? And that one is truly coming alive, and they do have a business plan, and a sustainability plan. And so they were queried about how to keep it going, and they were talking about liability. They were very grown up in their presentation. So anyway, just a shout out to Cass Teach for that moment. So thanks. I agree.
Thank you. And I think that's all we have from the board at this time. So We can go home now. No, we can't. Next item is our citizens to be heard, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So I believe we have one individual, Patty Cantu, signed up to speak to agenda item 8, and all of our other citizens were signed up for the citizens to be heard portion. So we'll go ahead and get started. Melina Espiritu Azocar.
Good evening, Board President Dr. Duran, Vice President Dr. Hasso, and trustees and Dr. Kraft. My name is Melina Espiritu Azocar, and I serve as the president of Northside AFT, the only local union representing the workers of Northside ISD and the largest employee organization in the district. At our last board meeting on October 28th, we spoke about needed changes to policy DGB. We submitted over 450 petitions and since then have collected more than 100 additional signatures. These petitions make one message clear. The workers of Northside ISD and the community that stands behind them believes employees should have access to their union. Let me also be clear, unions and employee organizations are not vendors. We don't sell products. We represent people, the very people who make the district function every single day. We are partners in maintaining strong, stable, and supportive public schools for both students and staff. Policy DGB has nothing to do with vendors. In fact, this is where districts typically include a consultation process with employee organizations. Yet over 37 years ago, an anti-union policy was passed here in Northside, born out of a time when educators across Texas and San Antonio specifically were fighting simply to have a voice. The outdated language in the current policy no longer represents who we are as a district or what our community values are today. It's time to bring Northside into the right century, one where collaboration, not exclusion, defines how we work together. We're asking for a remedy to the 1988 policy so Northside can move forward as a district that truly values worker voice, fairness, and partnership. Tonight, you'll also hear from our members who serve some of our most exceptional students, those in ALE and other self-contained classrooms. These educators do some of the most demanding and essential work in this district, and yet they face conditions that make their jobs even harder. They come to you tonight with 3 clear requests that you'll hear. 1, to return the district pacing calendar instead of the newly introduced unique curriculum, which should be used as a supplement, not primary resource. 2, guarantee that they have duty-free lunches and uninterrupted conference times with reliable coverage when staffing issues arise. And then 3, they're going to ask you to visit their classrooms to witness the complexity, the dedication, and the heart these educators bring every single day. Our members are not here to complain. They are advocating for conditions that allow them to serve students effectively. Their advocacy reflects the heart of what unions do every day. We know this board wants to retain the best educators. Listening to and acting on these concerns is how we make that happen. On behalf of Northside AFT, I ask that you meet with us collectively to address these issues and take action on the proposed changes to policy DGB local. Together, we can ensure Northside ISD remains a place where workers are respected, collaboration drives progress, and our shared commitment to students guides every decision. After all, we must all continue to fight together to serve and make sure that we have the schools that our students deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christina Garcia.
What's wrong?
The timer.
Hi, good evening, board. I'm here tonight to address urgent concerns that directly affect the success of our most vulnerable students, those served in ALE and AU programs. On August 7th, just 3 days before students returned to school, ALE teachers were informed that our pacing calendar and all previously used instructional resources were being discontinued. We were told that the Unique Learning System, or ULS, would now serve as both our curriculum and pacing guide. At that same time, we also learned that the district would no longer fund or provide training for multiple essential interventions, including pathways and Edmark reading programs, early numeracy and hands-on math interventions, TV teacher and handwriting without tears, RAS Plus, and TPT differentiated materials. While we understand the importance of fiscal responsibility, this abrupt change left teachers without adequate training or access to proven evidence-based tools. The unique curriculum, while well-intentioned, is not intuitive and requires extensive modification to meet the highly individualized needs of our students. A recent NAFT survey, just so you know, that was 30 participants, 20 teachers, 10 IAs. found that 95% of ALE and AU teachers surveyed are dissatisfied with this curriculum change, and 90% want the ALE pacing calendar reinstated. There's a no-cost practical solution, and I seek your help. Reinstate the ALE pacing calendar as our curriculum guide. Restore access to the resources the district already owns. Continue training new teachers on those existing materials. Use ULS as a supplemental tool, not a replacement. These steps would restore instructional consistency and equity for students without additional financial impact to the district. Equally pressing is the issue of staffing and coverage. The same survey revealed 73% of ALE teachers do not receive lunch or conference period coverage. 44% of instructional assistant absences go unfilled. 65% of teachers have missed 4 or more duty-free conferences so far this year. And 60% of teachers have been expected to work off-contract hours. This is not sustainable. Vacant positions remain unfilled and morale is declining. Many teachers, myself included, question whether we can continue this profession long-term. I love my job. I love Northside. I respectfully urge the district to provide campuses clear guidance and training on ALE and AU staffing models, ensure staff receive contractual lunches and conferences, and acknowledge that teachers delivering specialized instruction must have time and support to do so effectively. Finally, I invite each of you to spend just 2 hours in an ALE classroom. See firsthand the dedication, skill, and care required to meet every student's unique needs. Northside's mission is to ensure every student receives the education and care they deserve. ALE teachers share that mission wholeheartedly. We simply ask for the resources, support, and staffing necessary to fill it. Thank you all for your time and continued commitment to our students.
Thank you.
Gene Smith.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I am here to present 3 concerns and hope to see that there is an interest and change for the well-being of NISD staff and their students. I am an ALE IA instructor at Colonies North Elementary. My 3 concerns are, I would like to see that there be more training for our IAs as well as our substitutes that enter our classrooms. I would like to have them be trained in understanding the neurodivergent of our students. The goal is to have more in-depth education prior to entering the classroom and helping them. Second, certified special ed teacher in the classroom is very important for the structure and the execution of lessons for students and in our classroom. At the beginning of the school year, my school was unable to obtain a certified SPED teacher for our classroom. As a result, it was up to us, the IAs, and the new SPED coordinators to gather together, create lesson plans, and obtain materials for our students. Our current long-term substitute has a master's in behavioral science analysis. The approach to teaching is ABA therapy. There is more of a one-on-one teaching rather than a large and small group teaching, which the structure of the classroom and learning routine is lacking greatly. Third, the pay to workload ratio is not equate to the amount of labor I apply every day. My net annual pay is $17,615.30, which makes up to a month pay of $2,007.21, which equals to $16.45 an hour. Yet at times I go above and beyond the health, safety, and welfare of the students. This is a reason for instructional assistant burnt out, leaving the job, the lack of morale in the position as an IA. More support for ALE classrooms, the proper pay scale, workload, education requirement for the position would greatly improve a healthier educational environment for students and staff. The environment that the staff member is working in is very important. The morale of the employee, knowing that they will receive support from their administrators and those at the higher level, is vital to the retention of the SPED and ALE team. Overloading classrooms without extra support and the pay grade creates an environment of dissatisfaction for instructional assistants. I would like to invite you to visit at least 2 hours in our classroom. Overall, those of us who work in SPED, particularly in ALE academic life skills education, love our job. We love these kids and their families. We become family in our classroom. We just want what is best for our students so they can reach their best potential at their pace. Together as one team, we can make a difference. Thank you so much for your time and your support.
Tracy Sorrell. Tracy Sorrell.
Hello, I'm an ALE teacher at Bernal Middle School. This is my 20th year with Northside, 19 years in the ALE classroom. I want to talk about what's going on in my classroom and in our classrooms across the district. While my campus tries really hard to support our ALE staff, it isn't other teachers' jobs to come into my classroom and be my IA or to take my students out to other electives. This should be done by our trained staff. But the district doesn't give us the staff that we need in our classes. We fill out a class count every month. They ask us how many students we have. They ask us, do they need help feeding? Do they need help restrooming? They ask us what setting they're in. But they don't ask us what y'all need to know, what we need in our classroom. Yes, those things are important, but we're not babysitting students, we're teaching them. They need to know how many of our kids have behavioral plans in place and whether those behaviors are tier 1, 2, or 3. They ask us if anybody has a one-on-one, and we already know that doesn't happen in ALE. Our students have some severe behaviors, and when we have those students, they need an IA just to them to help keep us and our staff safe, and especially our students. Y'all need to know how many of our students can read or write, how many can use scissors, how many need help one-on-one holding their paper, turning their pages. You need to know what academic levels our students are. Level 1s and our non-authentic academic response kids, our NAR students, need much more assistance than our level 1s and 2, our level 2s and 3s, but no one knows what level our students are when they look at our class counts. Their IEPs say they need support when they go out to electives. I have 32 ALE students in my unit right now. 27 of them need support. We are told our children get to go what electives they need to go to and what they choose, which is great. But when you have one child going out to a cooking class, one IA has to go with them. And that leaves 10 going to art or PE with one IA. And one of those kids may be a severe behavior child. It's not safe and it's not at good practices. Our staff, we need our lunch. We need our planning. But that isn't taken into consideration when they're staffing. They pull other SPED teachers from their planning and their PLC time to cover our classes, and that's not fair to them. I'm retiring at the end of this year, not because I want to, but because I can't do this much longer. It is too hard. It's too hard on my health, and my family has asked me to please stop. We can't get our planning done. It's just not enough time. And I care more about these students. I've been doing this for 20 years. Please look at what's going on in our classrooms. I invite you, please, go to an ALE classroom and see what's happening in there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cherie Kreisel. Kreisel, I'm sorry. What about Cherie?
I'm just called Miss K. For that reason. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here tonight. I am speaking for ALE. I've been an ALE teacher for a very long time and in Northside. But I'm speaking mostly not for us older teachers, but for the new ALE teachers, because when we came back to school this year, it was devastating to the new ALE teachers. They have no idea what they're supposed to be teaching. They don't. They took away our curriculum. They took away our pacing calendar. We only have ULS. For me, it's easy because I've been doing this so long. I can do it in my sleep. But my other co-teacher, it's her first year, and she's lost. If I didn't tell her what to do, she wouldn't know what to do. We have, honestly, the toughest job on campus. Everybody on campus knows that because we have immense paperwork and we deal with behaviors every day. We have the most severe students on campus. They have complex needs. And we have to teach all academic areas: math, reading, writing, science, social studies, plus social skills, and try to squish life skills in there too. It can be exhausting. But if we didn't love it, we wouldn't do it. We love it. Unfortunately, like I said, our pacing calendar was taken away, our curriculum was taken away, and our students can learn. We had a program, Rad's Kids, that my kids learned how to read with that, and they were proud of it, but that's been taken over. ALE teachers, as you know, it's about a 50% turnover rate over the years, and I have a feeling this year it's going to be higher because a lot of people are leaving. My requests are please reinstate the pacing calendar for our new teachers. They need it. They need something to be able to go by. And it also makes it consistent across all campuses on Northside. All ALEs will be doing the same thing, so everybody knows what we're doing. But also Rad's Kids, please reinstate that. That was a wonderful program for our kids. They learned how to read with it. And we don't need AI. That's what we were told. Well, use ULS and use AI to create your lessons. That's not research-based curriculum that we're supposed to be using in Northside. And that was very disappointing, to say the least. Help us to have lunch and conference periods. You know, you said four. If I had 4 this year, that would be wonderful. I haven't had a conference or lunch. It just doesn't happen because something always happens that we have to deal with the problems. And so who ends up going? The teacher. Even though it's supposed to be our conference or lunch, we go because we love our students and we want them to be successful. So we give up our conference and lunch. Please come visit our classroom. I don't know if anybody here has ever been in an ALA classroom. Yeah. I know you haven't in mine, but I would love for you to come and meet our kids. They would love to meet you. They're excited when people come in the classroom. They love this. We have lots of specialists that come in, and they love for people to come. So please come visit. That would be awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Grace Garza.
Hello, my name is Grace Garza, and I am an ALE teacher in the district. This is my 15th year serving students with special needs within Northside. I'm currently working on being a 5-star teacher and currently have 2 stars. We have been mandated to solely use the unique learning system. I'm here this evening to discuss the importance of bringing back the pacing calendar. The unique learning system provides differentiated standard-aligned content and benchmark tests for students, but the system is flawed in a sense that because it does not incorporate a reading program, nor does it follow a sequence for math. For example, they jump around in different skills. The pacing calendar was originally created because teachers did not have many resources. The pacing calendar was adapted to meet the needs of all students' learning styles and abilities. The planning time has exponentially increased for teachers to create work for students that is not impactful. According to Marcia Tate's book, Worksheets Don't Grow Dendrites, worksheets do not stimulate neural connections dendrites in the same way that interactive and multisensory learning experiences do. Growing up, I remember fun lessons like spelling bingo and dictation, and I am certain y'all can remember a fun lesson that you learned or an activity you did as a child. ALE has a high turnaround of teachers and staff. There are currently long-term subs filling teacher vacancies. Let's retain the teachers that we currently have in ALE by supporting them with the resources that they need. So I ask that when decisions and changes are being made in regards to ALE, allow teachers a seat at that table, an expert on the front line, working with students firsthand. And I also kindly ask and challenge you to see and meet my students that you're impacting because the future of San Antonio and the great state of Texas is in my classroom. Give us back our heart and soul what motivates our students, the pacing calendar. It would cost the district $0 for this resource. My little angels in class no son pobrecitos. They deserve the best and high quality education curriculum and resources our public dollars can get them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Deirdre Paul Forkham.
Somebody's phone? Oh, okay. Sorry. Hello. My name is Deirdre Dahl Forkham, but I'm better known as Miss Dee Dee. I and my children are proud products of Northside. I know firsthand what this district can do for our kids, and that is why it is the only district I wanted to work for. For 26 years, I have only taught ALE. I have taught every level from elementary to high school. I'm currently at Jones Middle School. The first concern I want to address are teachers. I have a supportive administration, but there is only so much they can do when 4 positions are vacant in special education. This leads to frequent loss of my state-mandated duty-free lunch and conference because no teacher can relieve me. Both myself and my co-teacher cover electives and PE because there is no one to pull to supervise students. On days when an IA is absent, we usually have to remain with students with no break because we rarely get subs for our assistants. The need for consistent the need for consistent routines and staff is particularly important in ALE due to the unique needs of the population we teach. I ask you to look into and address ALE substitute staffing concerns. Second, I am here to talk to you about the 1%. These students require high quality, differentiated instruction, which I cannot provide using a curriculum that is not flexible or deep enough for the wide variety of needs and abilities present in my classroom. Currently, the only curriculum available to me is unique. Thus far, the training has not been sufficient for me to use the curriculum with fidelity. I have used it routinely over the years, but only as a resource. It does not have the depth and range of differentiation to support our higher level students in particular. It is especially limited in the areas of math and science. In the past, we had the pacing calendar that provided a wide variety of resources and gave us broad flexibility in planning instruction and differentiating at every level. The change from the old pacing calendar was abrupt, and there was little time to prepare for it. I can no longer find some of the basic resources like visuals and toileting charts I used to have access to in the pacing calendar. We need more than just unique to provide our students with an enriching education. These 1% of students are the ones with the most needs and often are the least celebrated. Their accomplishments don't get posted on the sign in front of the school. Their small, hard-won victories are not in days and weeks, but months and years. I invite each of you to come to my class and see for yourself what we do with our 1% kids. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Terry Zablocki.
Good evening. We're going to have a real world moment here because I'm certain that what just transpired now, just because I walked up here, there's certain individuals that may have an opinion and have been told, etc. And I'm here to say to you, and I'm here to translate, because this is exactly what this district does. Ready? Number one, yours truly, I've had the experience, okay? I understand. I sat when Mr. Fred, what happened here, I am here. I am someone who is certified and has gone through it. What you just described is what your perspective is. I have happened to have the perspective of having sat there during when many decisions were made. And you talked about AI. I'm here to say this evening, assuming an identity. Somebody can come in, right? You're certified. I loved it. I'm certified.
We could address the board for your comments.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry. I will address the board. I am certified. okay, on a piece of paper. I am not certified. When it comes to the board and what transpired, I'm here tonight. I was here with prepared remarks because a teacher who belonged to a different professional organization got a text from AFT. And that text came to the teacher's personal cell phone number. Okay, I sent it to the board and I attempted to call and ask and talk individually to the two board members who at the board retreat talked about cell phones and the dais and this and that and the other thing. And I couldn't call them because their names are not listed on the Northside page. You want to talk communication and you want to talk in terms of experience. There are 3 trustees who have years, decades of experience solving the problems when people bring them here. That's not the case in every board session, in every board that happens. And so when it comes to assuming the identity and logging in, an authenticator, the authenticator needs to be 7 to 0. It needs to be unified on every single item. We did it 25 years ago. We had lost a superintendent. We can do it again, but it is so difficult for those of you who are new to the board to make eye contact and to genuinely discuss and talk to those of us who have questions for you and who have concerns and who can bring you information so that people don't have to sit and miss the Golden Girls tonight in order to come and make an important point. Bless you all, and thank you for what you do, and thank you for this opportunity to say that what happened here, no surprises, happened when it was at the committee meeting. You came and you had prepared items. DGB local was presented in an entirely different light, and you knew it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I think that concludes our citizens to be heard section.
Yes, ma'am.
And now we move on to our consent agenda.
These items have been previously presented, or if you have any questions, these are, like I say, pretty standard standing items for each month.
Do we have any motions? This is Mrs. Freeman.
Yeah, I would move approval of consent agenda items.
All right, Dr. Hassel.
I second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any discussion? Okay, motion passes. We pass the consent agenda.
Thank you.
And now we have our 7th item on the agenda, our business and finance.
Yeah, so what we wanted to bring forward, Ms. Bradley and Tiffany, you'll find in Diligent, I keep wanting to go back to board docs, but Diligent, are the board awards as an attachment. And we have just a couple of questions that we need to discuss, particularly the 2021 HEB and Excellence $20,000 award, and then of course the $1,000 awarded here just recently. I believe Ms. Freeman, you won.
The board one.
The board one.
Because the board.
For the delegate assembly, if I'm not mistaken. So really, it's just a matter of designating those funds. Do you want to see those placed in the scholarship fund? How would you like to really proceed?
Mr. Blunt?
Yeah, I guess I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm not sure what happened. I thought the 20,000 was going to be allocated toward the board and
the Jim B. Crow Award.
Oh, that's the one.
That's your $10,000 award that was allocated for what we're basically digitizing the board member historical
And
photos,
video
the video display out front.
Right.
So that has been accounted for. it's really, like I say, there's a $20,000 2021 HEB and Excellence Award that, to our knowledge, has not been designated, and then most recently the $1,000.
And Dr. Rapp,
What about the June 15th, 25,000?
No, I don't.
Okay, that may not be right.
So we did some more research during the day.
Teacher scholarship.
That also. So what we found with all the data that was attached to the May 21st, 2021 deposit of $20,000, it was an HEB Excellence Award, but it was to the school district itself, not necessarily to the school board. But it was never designated on how to use it. So the board can decide to use it for scholarships or for another purpose.
Okay.
The $5,000 that was January 12th of 2023 was a board award that was not designated. And then we have the $25,000 that was from later in 2023, June 15th. We found all the checks and the documents and we can put them in board. We did not find board minutes that sent these. They have never been moved to NEF if we wanted to do that.
All right, let's get this conversation going. Mr.
Yes.
Blunt, you're number one. Did you already make your point? Okay.
Well, if you have any money, I would suggest it goes toward the scholarships piece. I would add that.
Okay, we have one vote for the scholarships, Ms. Zapata.
Oops.
I agree. I think the money should go
Second
to the
vote.
scholarship.
Dr. Harrell?
I thought every discussion, it was always going to go to scholarships. So
Third, Mrs. Freeman.
So I am really confused. So in 2023, the board received an award from HEB for good governance and community engagement, all that.
Yes, ma'am.
That was the 25,000,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And that
Yes.
appears here. The 2021, I don't.
we got for like not being a runner up, but if you make it to the finals, you get that check first. And then if you win, you get the other check.
So we got 20,000 for being a runner up
In 2021.
No, it was the other way around. Oh.
So my understanding
I'm sorry.
from when I joined the board in May of 23 is that it went to scholarships managed through the Northside Education Foundation.
My understanding is from the research we've been looking through is that the May 21st, 2021 award actually had to do with the work that the board and the district did during COVID of handing out food and supplies, and that HEB designated $100,000 to be given to different people who worked on that award, and the portion that was given to Northside was $20,000. Again, that was not a specific board award, but it was never designated, is what our paperwork says.
So that, oh, I'm sorry.
No, interesting.
So we're not, so the June 15, 23 is not in question? That,
The June 23 is not in question.
It's the
That has been-
2021.
Yes, the June of 23 actually has been sent to NEF. It's in
Yes.
their bank account.
Yes.
The applications are set up. It's ready to go.
Okay, good.
The $10,000 that's going for the video boards, also not in question.
Okay.
That one is already done. That is
Great.
committed. The $1,000 that Ms. Freeman brought to our attention, it is designated for student scholarships. So the only question is, do we send it to NEF to be part of the
Yes.
application that's already there? So that's part of the discussion for tonight. And then for the other two items of the 20,000 and 5,000, again, that are several years old at this point. But
25,000.
we have them reserved, in our financial statement to not be spent until they're awarded. So we're asking to.
Did they give us a check then? We have the money. Okay.
The money is here.
Money's in the bank.
So we're
Money's
gonna,
interest.
do we
Free
agree
water.
then, scholarships, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Laura said yes too before. she
Laura,
left.
did you have another comment, Mrs. Freeman?
I have another question. So, we've already used some of that. We used scholarship money from last
23.
year.
From the 25,000, yes, ma'am.
Right.
25,000 was given to NEF. It is in their bank account. They have already issued some of that out to students.
And how much
I
did
believe
we?
it was 12,500.
12,500.
Yes.
Half of it.
Okay.
So we have half left and then now 25,000 additional. So we are ready to give scholarships. Mr. Blunt,
21,000.
there's 20 and then there's 5.
26,000.
And then 12,500.
Right.
Right.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
That's the balance, the net balance.
Yay.
Mr. Blunt, you had another comment? Okay. So do we have to do a motion here then? Okay. Do we have any motions
What
on
we're
the
trying
floor?
to do is just formally Where would you like these funds designated so that we can
The same-
consolidate and clean?
Same place, no? Okay, Mrs. Zapata.
I vote that we put it in the scholarship fund.
Second.
Dr. Howell seconds that, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other discussion? The motion carries to move the remaining funds to scholarships managed through our Northside Educational Foundation.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you.
ma'am.
That was easy.
Did we vote?
We
Yes.
voted it.
Yes,
It
it is.
passed.
Okay.
Look down and it's.
I did a good job, sir, this time.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay.
Administration now is number 8 on our agenda.
Yes. So as we discussed in the policy committee, we're bringing back DGB policy for further discussion. I believe you'll find this also as an attachment in your diligent. Thank you. It is gonna happen. The proposal, as you can see, really highlights principal's discretion being utilized through prior approval. We had a all-level leadership meeting last week, and I just polled the principals while I had their attention, because one of my main, as I explained to them, articulated to them, one of my main focuses is consistency. And so I just asked the question, do you allow any form of visitation, whether it be a teacher representative group and or any form of a vendor such as a jewelry for the sale of Christmas gifts, or I think I used Mary Kay Cosmetics, which I think is still a thing. And again, there were about a third that raised their hands that yes, they already allow, or this latitude is provided. And so really looking at this policy, also with Mr. Blunt, to your point, DGA local, we just need some alignment. We need consistency across the district, because I think based on the conversation, brief conversation with our principals last week, we're lacking some consistency in this particular arena.
I do recall as being on a campus, and they would give us incentives to come and be in our teacher work lounge. So like they would buy us breakfast if we let the Sensi people sell stuff. So I mean, it was dependent on the campus, really how that
I just again, I think it's really though important for the principal to retain discretion, so that in essence, if it's a testing day or whatever the case may be, I just think that's really important. The principals need to have that discretion.
Okay, Dr. Hasso?
Just wanted to ask, I thought we had a citizen to be heard for this agenda item.
I'm sorry.
I thought we had a citizen to be heard for this.
Oh, I'm sorry, we
agenda
do. Patty Cantu signed up to speak. Typically, we presented.
I didn't know the order. That's why I was like, I don't know the order.
Afterwards. Okay, thank you, Ms.
Is
Patty.
that okay, Ms. Cantu? Okay, thank you.
All right, and did you have another comment on this policy? Okay, Mr. Salcido?
Yeah, I just had a question about
Mike.
line 1 that says was prior approval, so that means that some will be able to and some won't. It depends up to the principal. Is that, or should we just?
Well, I think that's a valid question. I mean, we discussed this with our principals in the sense of when you establish a limited public forum, but you also are looking at now equal access, there's going to be a degree, again, talking about consistency, that in essence, if one group is allowed and another group is not. So I'm just going to use an example that we know are two representatives here in Northside, ATPE and AFT. So in that particular case, one being allowed would really constitute a legal ground for the other to be allowed as well. And so that's where, if principals, again, using their discretion, allow one from an equal access standpoint, the other will have to be, or will need to be allowed that same opportunity.
Mr. Blanc?
I guess a couple items. First, and again, I'm not giving legal advice to the district. I'll say that from a lawyer's angle. But the very first paragraph, to me, is the same as, or duplicates DGA. And actually, I prefer DGA, to be honest, because it does give that discretion. The second one, the DGB, that first one, I hesitate where it says unreasonable, because from a legal sense, you'd almost advise somebody, if you got that in there, you almost have to do it per se, depending how you interpret unreasonable. So that's why DGA sort of covers that per se, so we need to look at that. Second one I worry about a little bit is mentioning anybody's lunch hours. We heard the 30 minutes, just from a wage loss standpoint. We need to look closely at that. I'm not saying either way, whether allowed or not allowed, but if we specify it there, we're going to specify other things in regards to what is allowed to an employee's 30 minutes. I just hate to mention that in a board policy. So something else to look at. The third one I'll bring up is I get a little bit concerned with employee organizations that do have involvement on the political side. And I bring that up because if that occurs also during campaigning and other type things, for those that may not be associated with that organization, they should have the same opportunity through other means. So that's the other thing I would bring up. So those are the three comments I have related to the policy.
Yeah, we'll definitely double check Department of Labor, wage and labor laws. Salaried individuals, I don't think that there's going to be any risk associated whatsoever. With hourly waged employees, that's a good point. Again, this is a first reading, so we'll follow up on that. And then, of course, in regards to political affiliates, you're exactly right. Again, I think that there are some inherent associated potential challenges with looking at how does a campus leader remain consistent in the sense of maybe this group doesn't agree to my political vantage or views. Well, if one is allowed, I mean, again, those are the balls and strikes that they're going to be required to call, and it can be challenged from a legal premise, obviously. So that's a good point, and we'll double check with counsel in that regard as well.
Mrs. Zapata?
No, I mean, I agree with what you're saying as far as being fair and I mean, as far as the political side, I wonder how many organizations, you say about a third of principals say that they allow people on. Have we had a problem with people coming in, bringing their politics? I think this is something, the collaboration and sitting down with the principal or collaborating with the principal on what they're offering for their employees, and creating that partnership, creating that, I think understanding what they're offering to their employees, and working with administration for that. But most definitely, going over that and making sure that, those things are in place.
I think something that has guided us in the classroom has been the calendar. So if we have blackout dates, like because of testing or whatever, those should always be honored. So that could be like one rule of law, if you will, like on those days, none of this can happen, because our focus is whatever events taking place that day, and they're very strict scheduling. And the day's very all over the place as far as lunches and people that are out we are having to find coverage for. So it makes it very complicated. So I see that maybe the one way to be consistent as far as access to the campus. But the inconsistency across leaders, that's what we have to try to help guide, right, with this policies. Like one person's allowing, one is not, and we just got to figure out a solution. Mrs. Freeman?
Yeah, I have some questions about the wording of the policy, but before that, I'd like to talk about the process. So I went back and looked at policy. We do not have a clear policy on how we bring forth policies. In practice, many of our policies usually come through TASB updates, and they've already been through the attorney process, and so they come and they come forward in first reading. We've had policies in the past, not very often, but those policies that are brought forth by board members have been brought to staff. Staff has looked at them, and together we've collaborated on wording of the policy before it's brought back for first reading. So this, I guess what I'm saying is this particular policy is here for first reading, may not be the best way to collaborate, to all of us collaborate on a policy, because right now the way it's worded and it's first reading, next time it comes back, we go up or down. Otherwise, it comes back for first reading again. So we can't do anything about it now because it is on first reading, but for future reference, maybe we need to look at how we bring forward policies.
And that's a great point. The policy was presented at the policy committee
there.
meeting. I don't know. I think we had 4 present.
3.
And yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. You're exactly right. In fact, we're going to be looking at another policy here momentarily that was the naming of facilities. And that was a prime example. As we were receiving requests, we first addressed the policy and updated the policy to treat it as a first reading, actually by taking the policy to policy with associated draft language, and then a first reading, and then followed by a second reading. So to your point, that's how we've handled it historically. Now, if we want to create a policy,
To create policy?
a policy creation policy, we can do so.
The only thing I'm saying is if this board is looking at collaboration on a policy, then perhaps we bring forward, because that's what I thought we were doing at the committee meeting when we had 2 board members who wanted to bring forth this at the next agenda, which is fine. I just thought we were going to discuss the policy and maybe revise or whatever it is, and then bring it back for first reading. Right now, we're not. So that's for future discussion.
Yeah.
It's here for first reading. The question I have, though, back to, and Mr. Blunt, I still don't understand, the way it reads right now, is it principal discretion, or are we mandating that the principals allow, unless they have good reason not to, in which we don't really define that? How does that?
Well, at the campus level, to me, the appropriate administrator would absolutely be the campus principal. If it's a department, the way I read or interpret the policy would be the department lead.
But is it up for the discretion? I mean, can the
Depends
principal?
on where it's happening.
Can the person say no?
As I read
way
the
it's
policy, as it's being proposed, yes. Now, reasonably is, I think, the question. Well, reasonably, I don't have time today. That's reasonable, at least in this building.
Let's just say we had 2 antagonistic groups of people for whatever reason. Because we know our associations, our teacher associations, do compete for membership. That it is. And I guess that's another piece. If we want to, another topic that I'd like us to take up is truly what our membership looks like with our teacher organizations. How many members that each organization has, and how that's split up between teachers, auxiliary employees. And if we're going to talk about, and here it mentions membership, I would like all of our associations to be able to communicate that to our teachers so that they can make an informed decision. But this does say, I've heard about, okay, we want to talk to our teachers, but it also talks about recruiting. And then we do have a AFT, Northside AFT is a 501c5. And so there are associations with partisan political organizations. And so if one person comes in, then are they then automatically associated with that partisan group? And then how does that work into our electioneering concerns?
Those are all great questions. I don't know that there are really simple answers. I can say from an electioneering standpoint, in consultation with our legal counsel, which is really more segueing into a future item with operating procedures. Really, the fine line is ensuring clearly not articulating the views of the entire board. So in other words, trustees do have the ability to express their personal view without having to abandon their title as a trustee, as long as they're clearly delineating and explaining this is not the board or the view of the entire board nor the school district. And really, as important, if not more so, cannot use district resources.
I guess I'm not talking about the board in particular. I'm talking about an organization coming in and their associations. Is there a fine?
I think therein lies the risk, Ms. Freeman. We're trying to take care of 13,000 employees. We don't control unfortunate messaging from every entity that either wants to support or vice versa, Northside ISD.
Dr. Harrell?
So I have a question right now, because maybe this is bigger than what I thought it was. I was assuming when I read this that if I had an issue, and I'm going to pretend for a minute that I'm an ALE teacher, and I would like to speak to either AFT, anybody, I can decide that for myself to have that person come, right, to my classroom or whatever, to have a 30-minute, 25-minute meeting, because lunches aren't really 30, to talk about that right now. I can do that anytime I want, right?
No.
So,
The policy.
no, so
Depends on which policy you would like to look at.
I can't.
It's inconsistent.
Okay, but
So if you go to
well, no, wait. I'm just so if I'm an AFT person, I have to identify myself at the front office that I'm AFT and I'm coming to talk to Carol Harrell in her classroom. I'm in, whenever I go in offices, people aren't identifying why they're going and where they're going all the time. They're signing in, they get raptured or whatever, and some are going to lunch with their kiddo. There was someone delivering books. I'm trying to think of other examples where it's not like a parent, but they're signing in.
I go read books to kids.
Or yes, yeah. Or no, it was like someone delivering books, I think, from central office. It was a big box of books. But if you're in an organization, you have to clear that ahead of time to go into to visit with me? Or is this policy about, so that was one part of the question. So this says, no, you can't or you can, is my question. My other question is, or is it a policy that says this organization wants to come present during lunchtime to teacher groups from 10:30 to 1:30, and then it needs principal discretion? I guess I kind of get that, because there's going to be a teacher's choice whether I want to be in that lunchroom at that time or whatever, but does it prevent the one-on-one? Because I didn't understand it that way, or I thought maybe it just needs to be this. Maybe the description needs to include the type of interaction or the description of the interaction. Is it presenting to a group of teachers about possibilities and benefits and support? But there's different,
financial
I've
planners
been behind
come.
different presentations as a teacher. So, but I do remember being able to call and have someone come and just talk to me. or, because it's my lunchtime. So I don't know. That this is not clear in here.
And that brings up a great point because when financial advisors come all the time to meet with
They sit in the
teachers,
teacher's lounge or the library.
and they give you a donut if you sit and talk to them or something.
If you don't want to,
Some
you
cool
don't.
incentive.
You have that choice. But it's not.
It's the same as an employee organization considered.
Or
no?
United Way comes in and the entire faculty has to stay and listen to United Way. So I'm wondering if it's then two different policies or it's broken into two parts. If I need to contact one-on-one or if it's a group presentation, da-da-da-da-da. I don't know.
Mrs. Zapata?
I'm in my 27th year, and I've worked at a few different school districts: Harlandale, SAISD, Edgewood. I've been a part of ATPT, TSTA, Alliance. I've been a part of it all, and I've never, in my 26 years, have seen these organizations fight with each other, because at the end of the day, it's about supporting teachers. And if there's an organization out there that's going to be negative towards another organization that's going to be supporting teachers, well, then that's a different story. But I have yet to see anything like that happen in my 26 years, because these programs should be supporting teachers and allowing teachers to get updates and allowing teachers to feel like they have a voice. And for 37 years, we have not had anything in place. And we talk about being unstoppable. We talk about change. We talk about this is where we do it. And it's not about, no one here is saying anything about politics. It's about teachers. It's about helping our teachers feel respected. It's about listening to them. We need to stop being afraid of feedback. That's what's only going to make us stronger. And we need to be able to give this to our teachers. And our teachers are not forced. I was never forced to be a part of any of these organizations. And I've been a part of all of them. And if I did not want to go, I didn't go. If I could not meet with them, I could not meet with them. But I think this is, I've met with financial advisors. I never asked them if they're Republican or Democrat. They came in and they helped me with my finances, because I can't go during regular business hours. So I think we need to focus on why these programs are there, who they're there to support, why they're there to support. We can create stories galore and paint these ugly, horrible pictures. But again, we need to remember why these organizations are here. And we need to stop painting these crazy pictures about what they're about. So
I think consistency is really good. Okay, Dr. Hasso.
My ad is just, I feel like all organizations have their official organization, and then many organizations have a political, different organization. And I mention that because we all know that ISDs, here in San Antonio, just as the last Vader that just passed with many organizations, they have their ISD organization, and they also have. So I feel like that is not a uncommon practice for an organization to have a sole intent of helping our employees here on campus, and then a separate arm that they have is a political arm. Both are not allowed to commingle. Both are not allowed to go over, similar to ISDs. Like the ISD does not get into the political realm, but as we know from other ISDs, they do have that setup. So just kind of think of that when we're talking about these things, because it is a big part of the way nonprofits work, that most organizations do have their sole purpose of what they do, but they also have a different arm that is not the same. So I just wanted to kind of mention that. And then I think, based off of what Dr. Kraft had mentioned from the conversation she had with principals, they were already doing this. Like a third of our principals were already allowing organizations to come to campus. And I can tell you that, through the conversation of letting them know that there is a policy in place kind of against that, that definitely did change a lot of what individuals, and that's not what we want. We want teachers and support staff to feel comfortable going and talking. The biggest thing that we're doing here is really changing the way Northside, like there's so many things that we don't know. There's 133 campuses. It is impossible for us to know every single thing that's going on in every single school. We depend on organizations to really let us know. I mean, we just saw that today. And so it is important for teachers to feel comfortable in talking to someone. And I know as an employee, I've mentioned, like, it is hard sometimes to go directly to like the superintendent and be like, hey, there's a concern that I have. It's sometimes easier to go to someone else that's outside of the organization that can hear you out and listen to any issue or concern and let us know, because I 100% would rather hear from a teacher or support staff coming to us, letting us know that there's an issue or concern, versus what I've mentioned that, I've gone to Walmart, HEB, I've gone to different areas. You've heard teachers here say, like, this is my last semester. This is the last time I'm here. I'm not coming back. Like, that is not, I want individuals to let us know that there's a problem, because I want them to be here. Like, they want to be here. This is where they want to be. If there is an issue or concern and they do not feel comfortable coming directly to their direct supervisor, but there's someone that they feel comfortable going to and voicing that to, I want them to have that access and be able to go to them and really voice that. That's my.
Mr. Blunt, thank you.
Yeah. I guess I was just going to ask one quick question for our superintendent, especially understanding your last comments, but what is actually in place that you do get feedback? Because I think sometimes we're misunderstanding or acting like we're not getting the feedback that's needed from teachers and others, and with NCN and some other things, not to answer my own question, but I think there's a lot of feedback mechanisms in place. No doubt addition may help, but can you talk about that?
Sure, yeah. So let me first, thank you for the question. Let me first articulate that until really just a very subjective poll, which I appreciate the principals being honest, there really was no, I guess from the superintendent's chair, real issue with DGB. As of last week, that really changed that perspective, because it's very evident that some of our principals are not following policy. Just that simple. I don't know. I don't mean to how else to describe it, because the current DGB policy is very clear in the sense of employee organizations shall be treated consistently and without favoritism. Accordingly, the following shall be observed: group meetings or individual conferences conducted by any employee organization for membership recruitment or any other purpose shall not be conducted on school premises during school hours. Thus, really, the objective with DGB policy is trying to establish consistency, because this policy is not consistent with what is being practiced by about a third of our campuses. Again, that's just a general, just show of hands. And so we probably need to look to do something to address either DGB, or we need to make sure that we're following DGB as it's written in policy, which, yes, was dated back in 1988. That is my sole objective. Policy is truly the board. We will follow it, and we will put in place governance and rules, if you will, to do so.
So going back to the policy, do we have any?
Well, what was the answer to Bobby's question?
He just gave it. And NCN.
The feedback mechanisms right now. Without
Yeah.
this, devoid of this, what were the ways they could
Board
get feedback?
meetings. How can people give us feedback?
For what?
Everything. Like a problem they have if they don't want to go to their principal, for instance, or whatever. What feedback?
What does feedback have anything to do with DGB?
Well, one of the comments I think was that people go to the employee organizations to give them help or guidance when they don't feel comfortable coming to any administrator or anyone at the north side, for example. That was one of the comments. So the
Yeah.
body's response.
So okay. Yes, NCN, NEIC. We have an online link that is going to be required through Senate Bill 12. I mean, there's feedback loops, but again, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm just having a hard time driving, the parallel between
Well, I'll help. I'll help.
DGB local policy.
I'll help a little bit. In other words, if we were to say that, hey, we do need to modify DGB so that they do have access during the day to employee organizations, with the premise being that that is necessary because that employee organization has helped getting us feedback from the teachers and others that may be missing. So, and if it is missing, they said, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if there is something there, say, no, that's 90-10 or whatever else, then maybe not. So that's why it relates to DGB. It's saying, hey, is there something in place that's not adequate that we know this is helping out with our employee organizations and adding a benefit? Then we do need to change it.
And that has not been brought to my attention.
Mrs. Freeman?
Yeah, maybe we need to move on here, but I still, the way it's written, I'm concerned about mandating to a principal that this is what you must, or these are people that you must allow on your campus. My thought is the principal knows their community, and I guess I'm concerned about I'm concerned about a perceived mandate across the board to allow every organization. And there are other organizations, other teacher organizations that we don't have represented in Northside now that are in other communities that will show up on our campuses. So my thought is to allow the principal that particular latitude. And to Dr. Harrell's question, if anybody wants to talk to anybody part of a membership on the phone or in person, I don't think we've not limited that now, right? They can still do that now.
There's some indiscrepancies. So
Again, I'm
I'm
just with DGB.
Right.
It pertains to access during the course of the instructional day. That's really at the core of what we're talking about and what we want this policy to look like going forward. For me, do we want principals to have the discretion to allow these entities on campus with, again, visitor protocol checks, permission, again, discretion of the principal, or not? If it's or not, really the DGB policy is in place. It just needs to be followed, which will be a reinforcement from the district. If we want to see a modification, then that's the draft that you have before you, that we need to work on massaging it or getting it to a point that we can create an admin reg or here are some rules of the road.
I mean, given what you've said that already 1/3 are doing this, I think we should move forward and approve the verbiage. And to Mrs. Freeman's point, allow that principal that knows their community to have the last say, if you will, if it meets the campus needs at the time. Because to Dr. Carroll's point, Harrell, anyone can do it at any time right now. If I wanted to, as an individual. I wanted to invite someone to come have lunch with me, whoever you are, you can do that, going through all the processes in place. Mrs. Zapata?
Sorry. I do. I would like to move to, I'd like to move to include this verbiage in the DGB.
This is a first reading, so
Discussion.
this is really just for
Or to move
information
forward.
discussion item.
To move forward and to use this verbiage.
First,
Right.
discussion. So you like the way it's reading right now?
Correct.
Thank you. so.
Yeah, I mean, hold on, let's make sure we're clear from a process standpoint so we don't get in trouble with other things. This is scheduled only for discussion.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can't,
Everyone gave their input.
Right.
okay, good, yeah.
Yes.
No
Then
motions
for
or
the
move-
second
yeah.
reading and possible,
Yeah, I mean,
approval.
the question is with our current board operating procedures, two individuals can request an agenda item to be placed on an upcoming agenda. We'll have the opportunity for another workshop, which typically at workshops, we don't take action on December 2nd, and then another meeting on December 9th, which will be the December regular meeting. So I'll wait to hear.
Yes.
So you have two, Mrs. Zapata and Dr. Hasso requesting to put that on the agenda for December 9th. Dr. Harrell?
Yeah, and this is still part of the discussion. I guess what I still need clarity
It's the second one.
is,
You did that one, so-
so this is to come do what? So if we already have where they can come in, anybody can come in and visit.
We don't have that.
The people that are doing.
Right now, those that are allowing
One-on-one.
visitations
Even one-on-one.
are not following board
I thought you meant
policy.
them-
We're breaking board policy, so we want to fix it.
One-on-one or a meeting with a group of, either way.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It's not in, it's not in conjunction with DGB local current policy.
So to help principals, let me see if I can get the verbiage around this. Do the principals, or would they know the purpose of the visit? Does that need to be in here? Is it to talk to, at a staff meeting or not a staff meeting because it's instructional time? To go into the lunchroom and talk to everyone in there? Or is it one-on-one? I mean,
They have designated spaces.
Yeah, I think that it's going to, the context is going to be dependent upon, one, what the employee discloses, if it's an employee consulting with an individual they're inviting to visit with during lunch. But then two, you know, is it a group that's trying to set up, in, say, a teacher's lounge? I think that obviously they're going to want to know, well, what is the purpose of the visit?
Right.
What are we trying to accomplish here? A one-on-one, I mean, that would be a lot to ask, one, the employee to disclose, but two, the principal to even try to remotely
I agree.
track. Yeah.
Mrs. Freeman?
Just one more time. So if we bring this back, the next board meeting, I would like legal clarification as to the second part of that, or the clause in that first sentence that states, which shall not be unreasonably withheld. And what does that mean? That is, to me, I believe that that's ambiguous.
It shall be
Perhaps
allowed. Basically. Mrs. Zapata? Mrs. Zapata and then Mr. Blunt. Okay, Mr. Blunt.
No, I was just gonna say, remember, I think we already got noted, but remember to look at DGA also, because
Thank
they're
you.
duplicate.
What
They're
was it
duplicates.
again, Bobby?
DGA is a duplicate, and that's, to be honest, that's where it really, I think it really belongs. We can look at that, because it actually addresses that. But they're gonna look at that too.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, thanks for the discussion. All right. Now we have Administration 8B, Campus Safety Update.
We have Miss Cantu. Sorry.
Miss
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Cantu.
Yeah,
Miss Cantu,
Cantu.
come please. Come.
I apologize, but I
Apologize again.
Okay, the timer goes fast, so I'm going to shorten my greeting. So, good evening, Dr. Kraft and the board. Patty Cantu, I'm a teacher in Northside, and I feel like I'm here on two different visions. I'm here with Northside, Texas Classroom Teacher Association, but I'm here as a teacher, 24 years in Northside, 35 years experience. I've done it. I've been at East Central. I've been at South End. I've been here, so I've seen it all. But first, I guess I went to the committee meeting to get clarification. Still not sure what they're at. I guess my question is, why does AFT feel they need to be, what needs to be done effectively in a 30-minute window during a teacher's lunch period? We heard today the ALE teachers, they don't have time to eat lunch because they're covering. But we have time to meet with somebody to discuss a personal item like this. I mean, if the people I know, they call from their cars. They call from home. That's not something you want to call if you have a personal issue to call an organization. And if you do, I mean, we have technology. You can Zoom them. You can call on a phone. I mean, So that's one thing. I don't understand why somebody has to enter the building. So right now as a teacher, I'm saying, why do we have to have all these people in our building? We do a good job of keeping people out that don't need to be in our building, except for essential people, employees that need to be in our buildings. Other than that, I mean, because why? For the safety of our kids. And we all know that. That's why we do it. That's why we have all these safety regulations now. That's why they're checking doors all day long. That's why we have our foyers. So why are we letting additional people in our buildings? That's my main concern. I've also worked with several principals who hold sensitive meetings, one-on-one conversations with their staff, not before school, not during their conference, but they wait till after school, because those sensitive meetings can lead to emotions, can lead to people crying. I've seen people walk out of the building because of a meeting that happened at 9:20 in the morning or before school. So I've worked with principals that have done it where they do it after school, because those emotions lead to, they go back to the classroom, and that's just not a professional setting. So that's one thing. As an officer of Northside ISD, Texas Classroom Teachers Association, I mean, I've been in there, and I know you say we're supposed to be on the same side, and I've directed those same comments to Melina. We're supposed to be on the same side. When we discussed our legislative priorities, I asked her when AFT's Bill of Rights wasn't approved. I was like, well, let's work together. Let's come. Oh, no. If we're gonna write it, it's gonna have our name on it. Okay, well, that's not working together. I've been in my staff lounge when people have come up to my room going, there's the lady from AFT talking about your organization, saying that y'all have principles and y'all have this. And I'm like, whoa. So it's not always getting along, even though we're supposed to be
You
on
had
the
to
same
address the
side.
board. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. So, I feel like that's not always the case. When you say politics isn't, involved, well, campaign donations are public knowledge. So I do feel there are politics involved. I guess my question is, when you mentioned when we told them that that wasn't the policy, they were surprised. I guess I'm asking you, who is we? Who did you mean by we, Dr. Hasso?
Thank you. All right. Now,
More to come
Mhm.
on DGB Local.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Fay.
So we have, another workshop before our next board meeting where we could bring back TASB legal bring an update from TASB legal on that, get that verbiage. So we can have another reading of the policy prior so that we can get Karen's answers accordingly, right? If that's what y'all want. So, because we have another workshop before our December 9th meeting. So,
Yeah, because I think something was mentioned that this particular one doesn't exist anywhere else besides at Northside from 1987. So I'm curious to know and wonder how that came about. Thank you. All right.
So just before we leave, so we want to know, are there any other school districts that have this particular policy in their online or board policy?
The way it's written.
Yeah, so, okay.
How do we come about this policy in 1987?
Yeah,
Is my- my
we'll
ask.
work to research 1,100 school districts' policies.
I know, that's too much. That's too big of an ask. But
Do we need?
maybe Tasby knows.
Just ask Tasby.
If not, I do
guess-
not want to go beyond reasonable requests.
I guess, do we need to, what difference does it make whether other districts have it? We do, and so we choose to do what we want to do with it.
My recommendation is this, let's work to revise DGB. We'll work on the legality framework to be more in alignment with DGA, but more importantly, to be in alignment with what our campuses are practicing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. We're moving on to 8B, campus safety update.
This was a requested follow-up item. I'll let Dr. Fay speak to our ongoing campus safety initiative.
Thank you so much. And so I decided to kind of put some updates in there as an opportunity to share with the board some of the great things that are happening at Northside ISD regarding some of our systems that we're putting into place. And so we can go ahead and advance the slide, Monica. And so as far as physical security and operations are concerned, so we will be pushing out a video on the door monitoring alarm system for our board to know that is fully installed.
There's a
Gotcha.
comment from
I'm s-
Dr. Blunt.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm so
Dr.
sorry.
No, you're fine because you didn't know what we were doing.
in it. I'm
No, what I was going to tell you was the board can't, some of us can't see after page 5.
It's just blank.
It's blank. Yours, hopefully yours is okay.
My diligence working amazingly well.
Oh, you do see page 5?
I do. Maybe you
5,
log
6.
out and log.
I was just going to let you know that for those looking online.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's just so that everybody's aware that. It's not just you.
There's only 4 slides.
Oh.
It probably
okay.
sorry. It probably
The rest are blank. They're blank.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
They're blank slides.
Yeah,
so
no,
the
those are just blank
slideshow's
slides.
blank. Sorry.
It probably didn't get uploaded though.
I
But it's
forgot to delete those.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So sorry.
Resume. I'm so sorry, Doctor.
So sorry. So anyway, we have fully installed the door monitoring alarm systems. They are currently going through the process of being programmed because we have our vendor that is actually doing the programming for those doors. So we're working with each individual campus leader because each campus is different so that we can meet their needs as far as those alarms are concerned. So we also have every building that has either a secure lobby. All of our elementary schools have a secure lobby. Or at the campuses that do not have that, we have presented a staff that's present at the entry. That's part of the bare minimum compliance from TEA. So we are fully compliant with that at the moment. So we are looking at high school lunches as an opportunity to provide more safety to our kids. In that, we are looking to close high school lunches that are open beginning next year. With the exception of possibly students who have earned their CCMR status to incentivize that privilege. And we're also looking at other means and efforts around that. We have, thanks to Jacob Villarreal, our Assistant Superintendent for Facilities, he is working with the City of San Antonio, and he has requested or submitted a request to the City of San Antonio to amend the ordinance 99654 to activate school zone flasher lights during high school lunch periods, specifically at John Jay High School and Holmes High School, where we've had some significant challenges. We're currently looking at crossing guard staffing, so reviewing our staffing, focusing only on access points directly adjacent to school grounds. And just as an FYI to the board, the City of San Antonio actually provides crossing guards based on their requirements to any school that's inside the city limits. Northside ISD provides crossing guards to all of our campuses that are outside the city limits. And so that's actually a really good benefit. That's a good partnership. We're also looking at our hazardous routes determination. So we have our district law enforcement, risk management, and transportation. They're working collaboratively to create a transparent process for determining hazardous routes. The process will include hazardous routes due to violent crime. So violent crime definition, which is used for safe walking, includes aggravated assault, homicide, manslaughter, kidnapping, human trafficking, robbery, individual robbery, sexual assault, weapons violation. I want to note here that the letter of the law for violent crime does not include drug violations or drug distribution. Some of our challenges is that there's no state or national standard found for quantifying high crime or unsafe walking zones. Example, number of incidents over a specific time frame. So this determination is left to individual jurisdictions. In this case, that would be Northside ISD. So SAPD and UTSA hotspot data we do have access to, which is the Violent Crime Reduction Plan, identifying hotspots based on concentrated robberies, aggravated assaults, and homicides over the past 12 months and the most 60 days. And so I've done a lot of learning in this process, so that was an interesting piece of data for myself. So key next steps for us determining hazardous routes based on violent crimes. formalize a local quantified standard for high crime area at board workshop in the spring of 2026. We'll expedite the finalization of that what I call a key work process document with Transportation Department to include the new standard. Finalize and announce school lunch closures by January 2026 for the following school year, 26-27. And then we're, of course, awaiting for a response from the city on flashing lights. And then we'll continue to monitor the need for additional crossing guards that are directly supported by Northside ISD and the city of San Antonio. And so that concludes my presentation. There is not a page 5, Mr. Blunt, sorry about that. So if you have any questions, I'll be able to take those now.
I do like the incentive that if there was a need or a decision to close high school lunches, that those that have done their work, that are on track and that have completed that CCMR status are incentivized. So it's an incentive, and I think that that's a really good one. So thank you for that. Mr. Blunt?
Yeah, just one quick challenge that's been around for a pretty long time, to be honest. It's a difficult one, but school zone markings. There was a city code that sometimes it puts it right on the school itself versus, it's a certain distance away. And I don't know if that's something that we can bring back per se to take a look at from a city's perspective. But literally where the crosswalk and other thing goes, there may be a need for an assessment of where they're at versus where we need them at.
And I know, like, even with John Jay having worked there, you have lights, but once those lights go green, they'll put the pedal to the metal. So if the lights are not going to help folks, what about those circle things that slow down? What are those called? The speed bumps.
That is a great question. I am going to quickly learn some things here.
The circuit.
Yeah. So,
Mr. Salcido.
It says right here they're looking for the school flashes for John Jay and Holmes. We should do it for all the schools. I know I was at Harlan, and those kids just ran across the street there. So it's kind of like not only at John Jay. The incident happened at John Jay, but I think it's more widespread than just. Now, I think that Harlan would be different, more Medina County.
Yes.
That be different than the city, but I should think we look at all the schools because I mean different campuses.
It's great feedback, certainly.
Right.
And we also have Chick-fil-A at Neff. They cross that street all the time.
Which one?
Neff to Chick-fil-A. Ms. Zapata?
Yes, so I like the partnership, and maybe we can do something where the city of San Antonio, I know like they usually have like commercials to recycle. Maybe we can, again, just pushing that with our city council is to add awareness, especially during school time, for the community to understand, the school zones. Also, I'm not sure if so the school flashing lights, those are the ones that are just stationary and that, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they the ones attached to like a trailer?
No, usually
They're the ones that are like on a metal pole. Right.
So I think, I know for me, and I'm not a fast driver, but sometimes when you you see your speed limit, right? I've seen them in Leon Valley. Your speed limit is, so, maybe possibly getting some of those, especially, starting off in our areas that are the most vulnerable.
Okay, certainly.
Thank you, Dr. Fay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we're going to now move to closed session. And in executive closed session, the board is going to convene in accordance with Texas Government Codes, Section 551071 through 551084. We are going to come back to those. Yeah. And so no action is going to take place in closed session. Any decisions will be made when the board reconvenes into the open session. So it's now 8:36. So let's meet at 8:40 in Dr. Kraft's office, please, for closed session.
We'll stay here.
Oh, we're going to stay here. Oh, even better. It is now 10:12. Does any board member have a motion regarding the grievance presented by
Ten-
the parent?
10:42.
10:42, I'm way off. Please correct the record, 10:42, Mike. Does any board member have a motion regarding?
You might.
We're back on the record in open session, having returned from closed session. The time is now 10:42 PM. Does any board member have a motion regarding the grievance presented by the parent? Dr. Hall?
Thank you, Dr. Duran. I move that the Northside ISD School District continue through the 504 special education evaluation process to properly address the necessary support for the student in question, bring back information and make a recommendation regarding the mental health training received by our school district police officers, report back to the board information regarding the appropriate administrative action that was given relative to this matter, and otherwise uphold the administration's decisions at level 3. Our board would personally like. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I move, thank you. I move to grant in part and to deny in part the parents' level 4 appeal as follows. And then you heard the part I said. Our board would sincerely like to thank the parents for working collaboratively and positively with our staff. We hope your child receives the support and care he certainly deserves, and we look forward to hearing about his progress. Thank you very, very much.
Second.
Okay, do we have a second? Dr. Blunt, Mr. Blunt? And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other discussion? The motion carries. So I move to, I want to thank you for coming today. All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. That's good. Okay.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome to stay.
We'll be here for another hour or so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, why did I close it?
Where are we?
Is that right? Okay. I know that, like I say, brings us to 9A, B, and C. If it's okay, I am going to recommend at this time that we place that on the either December 2nd and or December 9th for action. We anticipate that we're going to have some more information, particularly coming from the Bear Appraisal District in regards to the number of votes and then, of course, the percentages that will be divvied up as a result. It has to do with, I believe, staggered terms in having a conversation with the Bear Appraisal District yesterday. So I think that, like I say, we will have plenty of time. You will have plenty of time for consideration and action to be taken prior to the December 15th due date. So if it's okay, like I say, we'll bring those 3 items back at December 6th, or excuse me, December 2nd, and again, December 9th.
Is that okay with everybody? Okay. Thank you so much.
The next item we've got is the Leadership Northside presentation. I think you all know Nicole Franco. Thanks for your patience, Nicole. The big piece is that, again, we've graduated our 2nd cohort. Again, if you recall, this was a requested program we started a couple of years ago. It's been pretty engaging. I do think that the community members that you've recommended have found it to be a very worthwhile investment of their time. And so it's time to start looking at nominations again for cohort number 3 already.
Thank you, sir. So before you, we put it in the Friday letter, and then I gave you a hard copy just for ease of use. And so I wanted to talk through just the process for nomination. As it stands currently, each board member and superintendent may nominate up to 5 people who reside in their district. And then I've linked the nomination form there for you in 2 different places. The suggestion I would make is that you use the nomination form to submit your folks. I know in the past we've had where I get an email with a name and a number, and so I'm happy to reach out, but oftentimes it doesn't seem as if the candidate at that point doesn't really understand what they've been nominated for. So I think we have better participation and people hanging on through the course when they really get to hear from you and kind of understand the commitment that they're being asked. So if you would use the nomination form, that'd be great. If you have technical difficulties, if you'll just call, I'm happy to help. And then I have
No, I'm sorry.
I put the timeline at the bottom for the nominations, and so we do ask that the nominations be due by December 5th. That just gives us enough time to sort of get everything together, send them the formal invitations, have them commit for the classes, and just kind of get everybody set up and ready to go. And then the second page is literally the schedule of classes for you.
Mrs. Freeman?
Yes, so on here, like it was last time, we asked each board member nominate someone within their single member district. That was not followed the last time. There was at least one, if not more people outside of an individual board member, single member district. So I guess the question I have to the board is, are we going to follow this? And then if so, who's going to verify the specific address? How do we want to go ahead and do that?
Once we receive the nominations, we can look it up via address.
And sir, I actually do that.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, last year we had a couple of folks who didn't use their seats, and so I think you all kind of worked it amongst yourselves to give
We
each
agreed
other
to make an exception, but I think it was really hard because some folks just didn't come from within the boundaries that we.
Everyone that we had.
No, I mean there was nobody from my particular district that asked me to nominate them, but from another one. And so I think we just threw all the names in the hat. But
yeah, so we do start off by verifying that they're within your district if you nominate them. And then when it sort of just got a little mixed up last year, we at least verified that they were in the district.
Yeah.
So I'll take care of verifying
Is that okay
addresses.
with everyone, though, to do that again to Mrs. Freeman's point, if they don't, there are none that come from, but some other community member asks us, are we okay with that?
Well, I have a question around that because I do know someone that I wanted to nominate. He's not in mind, but he'd be really, really good. So I'm wondering what we do with that. Like when I go to things, I don't always, like if I see some potential leadership, I go, oh, you would be great. So I'm wondering how we handle that.
Do we get like
Would that
2
be on a
spots
list?
per person and then, I mean, we use our discretion?
I think it's
I'm just
it's
thinking
your
out loud.
committee to decide.
No, I'm
so
thinking
I'll
out loud.
happily-
So like if nobody comes from my district, but 3 people from wherever else, and then I have 2 spots, that I make that discretion as a trustee. These are my 2 nominees.
Or do
what?
I call up and say, Sonia, I have someone in your area, Chris, I can't remember his last name, but I don't know where he is. I just,
Why don't we just 5 people from our district?
That's the way it reads now. 5 people from your single member district.
no, from
No,
North
just from
Side.
North Side.
Oh, that's up to y'all.
I think we just go ahead. I think it's to our advantage to appoint somebody within our single member district to keep it. But I got to tell you, so if 10 people come from my area, then maybe somebody did me a favor.
Well, and I see what she's saying. Originally, we had it set up this way to have equal representation
Right.
across the district. That was the original. And we actually started off with just 3, and then we thought, oh, let's expand it. And so we upped it to the 5.
Yeah.
Are we at 5 now, or are we back at?
It reads 5 now.
Dr. Hassel, excuse me.
I mean, I think it's important that anyone that's interested in knowing about the great things we're doing in Northside could get the opportunity to be able to be part of this amazing group. I think, like, yes, ideally it would be people that are in our district, but I also just feel that there's value in, like, so it makes me think of like SISDs, like, or it's called San Antonio ISD, like leadership, like that's open to anyone that wants to know. Like, my thing is, like, I just met someone that works at like Univision. She is probably not in our district, but if she wants to learn about the great things going on in Northside and she can highlight us through Univision, like, I don't know, I feel like that's a win-win. There's people out there that are connected to Northside in a way, but might not be in the district. But there is a lot of value in these individuals knowing what we're doing so they can really magnify our voice in certain ways. My 2 cents on it.
Mr. Blunt?
I was just going to, on the nomination form, and I know it's active in Friday Letter, but it's not active in,
On the link.
yeah.
I don't know. That might be a new part of the
Okay.
Monica. Monica. I'm sorry. They said that the link worked in Friday letter, but it's not. I don't. Where are you looking now, Mr. Blunt?
In
In
diligence.
diligence,
It's
the
not
link
active in
doesn't work.
diligence.
It's not being very diligent.
Okay, I will work on that.
Yeah, and I've asked Monica to include it in the next couple of Friday
Okay.
letters to get so that you have the link readily available up until the deadline for nominations. But we'll work on getting it fixed. Okay.
I wasn't, I will work on it.
Can we add, so can we add the verbiage then, who, with priority of those who reside in our district?
Whatever you want.
With priority of those that reside in our district.
In the single member districts,
In
I
the-
guess, okay, so then the question is, do we appoint, can we appoint someone outside North Side, not affiliated with North Side?
But Sonia's idea is good. If it's a Univision.
I didn't say it wasn't good, we need to make that decision.
Do we make a vote or we just make a decision?
Okay with it.
If you're opposed, raise your hand.
Is there?
But I think, but let,
Like say for instance, are we gonna be capped? Like say
5, yes, 5, that's your cap.
some have more than that, I don't know.
Oh, you mean like if all of them are from my single member district?
I think you mean, Trustee Sabata, do you mean like if someone has 5 and someone else only has 2, how can we use up those 3 seats? I mean,
I'm okay
I
with
think
that.
They have to decide.
Okay, so this will be our third opportunity to do this. We have yet to fill sufficient seats based upon the nominations that we receive from trustees.
Okay, so then let's say that
We,
with priority.
we will be able to accommodate all 5 if you have 5. The other piece to keep in mind is that when we start reaching out and offering these invitations, one of the things that we present to them is, hey, here are every day or every month, these are the meetings, including a bus tour, and we will have a very polite, just thank you, no thank you, I just can't afford the time right now.
Correct.
So if we run into a situation, which I'm almost positive and can guarantee you all we won't, where we have too many nominations, we can come back, but that's just not going to be our challenge.
Okay, so let's just add that, Ms. Franco, with the priority of those who reside in Northside ISD. Right? Mrs. Raymond?
I'm sorry, should we say, because if we open it up to outside North Side, I mean, all of a sudden my list, well, actually within North Side, it's a lot. So do we cap it like 5 to 8? Should we say, I know.
We can.
You're not, I'm just saying,
We will be able to accommodate
5 to 8?
5 to 8 or 10.
5 to 10?
70. The bus only holds
Okay.
65, y'all.
Okay.
We gotta think of bus. I'm
Just
thinking
trust me
bus.
on this.
5 to
You're
10.
gonna drive the minibus.
Okay, 5 to 10?
Sure.
And just real quick, this is.
Stack the.
I know they get a nice meal and they love
do.
the meetings. But one of the parents.
Yes, they were very sweet.
They would have loved, I was telling them, I took the grandkids to go see blah, 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 Clark High School Theater. Oh, there's theater. I'm wondering if they could also get like free passes to, you could go to any play you want. You can go to
And
any
games.
football, basketball.
Ooh, Northside Leadership
so free
at.
fine arts and free athletics for a year.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a lot, Carol.
Well,
It's just a game.
You give them a gold pass, basically?
Yeah,
He's
gold
just
pass.
giving them a
Get
gold pass.
schedule.
I thought we were talking about leadership Northside.
I did
sorry,
too, sir.
Just for your
Yeah, leadership North Side.
Okay, that's a suggestion, ma'am. Thank you so much. So,
Okay, I just want to can I just read back what I think we're going to do? Okay. So each board member and the superintendent may nominate up to 10 people now. Is that what we're saying? Or 8?
8.
Okay, up to 8 people with priority to those.
6 or 7. 6 or 7.
Up to 8.
Keep going, y'all. I think we're going a little bonkers here.
Okay, so may nominate up to 8 people with priority to those who reside in their district, but could include outside of Northside. Is that what you're okay? Okay. I'll fix the wording to where it sounds better. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Franco.
You're welcome. Thank y'all. And I'll ask Barry about gold passes if you're.
Goal.
I mean, am I really asking,
Do
do
we?
we really want that or?
No, but I like the idea of like maybe doing like an event, like a
They're
choir,
only going
one
to go.
choir,
They'll
one
get a gold
athletic.
pass, but they're only going to go to two. I have a gold pass, and
One
I probably
fine
go
art.
more than anybody, and maybe it's 4 or
But
5.
to get the whole experience.
Yeah.
One fine art, one athletic.
Easy. Yeah, that's
We'll work it out.
easy.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you
can
so
build
much,
field
Ms.
trips.
Franco.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we want to move forward the naming of facilities conversation to our next board meeting? Is that okay to table that?
Yeah, and we'll bring in the full application at the next meeting.
What about board operating procedures? Are we okay to move that to our next meeting? Please. Okay. Code of ethics, that one is just assigned.
Didn't we
Code of
sign it?
ethics, I
Yep.
think.
Later.
I think if we can look to have a workshop on December 2nd, we'll be able to bring these items. We'll be able to preview the next 2 years of the academic calendars, and we'll be able to, I think, really work ahead for the December 9th meeting, and it will not be a 11 o'clock meeting.
It's my birthday.
The 9th.
A big birthday.
Aye.
So if we can,
Big.
a workshop, we'll need to have a quorum, but a workshop on the 2nd would be very, very helpful.
December 2nd. Is everybody okay with December 2nd?
And we'll start, like, say, 6 o'clock. And then we have 4 items, real quickly in executive session.
Okay, so right now, what about future agenda items? That was it?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, December 2nd, you can anticipate a preview of all information of the next 2-year academic calendars, and there'll be a couple other items, particularly academic related, that we'll bring forward.
Okay. And for, we're gonna go into executive session again. Do we want to stay here or go to?
We can say right here, I think that's.
Okay.
Dr. Duran, before you
Yes,
before
ma'am.
you read that.
Mrs. Freeman.
Yes, future agenda items. So we had a lot of reports tonight on ALE. So how should we talk? I mean, there was a lot of accusations made, and I was watching some faces. So I would like to know maybe what we are doing with curriculum. Could that be on a?
Academics, do you mind?
Yeah,
I
we
was gonna ask the same thing.
we can add it to the workshop. That'd be a great workshop item. We-
ALE curriculum.
The calendar item, they kept.
Just in the follow-up to.
Just to follow up the comments, because I know that you will follow, I mean, we followed up to some individuals. Maybe it just needs to go to the board.
Yeah, I think that, like I say, we'll provide that Google Doc ongoing of communication, what's been done, but
Go in ALE.
I think a more formal report to the board would be appropriate.
Okay. Okay, so the board is now going to convene into closed session in accordance with the Texas Government Code again, 551.071 through 551.084. No action will be taken in closed session. Any discussions or decisions, will be made when we reconvene. It's 11 o'clock, and we're going to go ahead and at 11:01 go into closed session. It is now 11:22, and the board is reconvening into open session. No action was taken in closed session regarding agenda items discussed in closed session. Is there a motion to come before the board? Dr. Harrell?
I move we accept the positions as presented by staff in executive session.
Mrs. Freeman?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other discussion? Okay, the motion carries. And
Can we
Good night.
let me text you real quick. Oh, you're here. And that's now 11:23, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for watching.